We've been talking about doing this for a while.
We're live. Yeah.
We are live.
Good
Sweet.
morning, everybody. Welcome our special guest, rock star Frankie Wheeler.
Rockstar. Amateur, professional.
Amateur. You can't be amateur if you're getting paid for it.
I was just making conflicting statements. Amateur,
Oxymorons.
professional.
Morons.
Have you
Have a
ever
hangover.
been in a band, or have you always done solo?
I've been in a band since I was about 16, 15, I think.
Okay,
My first band. It
nice.
was a good time. It was called Nasty Habit.
Nasty
Yeah,
habit.
we were like a hair metal band.
Sweet. Did you like? So you can do like the screaming stuff? Is that what it was, or not? Not
It
really
was
that
like
crazy.
no, not like that. It was more like hair metal as in 80s
80s.
glam
Oh,
metal.
oh,
like I
cool.
wore like zebra pants
Oh, I like that.
and we teased our hair.
Yeah.
and it was a fun time.
Little perm.
That
That's
sounds
fun.
fucking awesome, man.
Our biggest song was called Hip Shakin' Fox, if that tells you anything. I mean,
Whoa. See,
Originals. So you were doing originals right from when you were 15.
yeah, I kind of joined someone else's band with that one though. The new act I'm in, Marcia Drive. I don't know if you
I didn't know. I've always
that's why I
seen
moved
you
to
on your own.
Texas.
So
Yeah.
okay.
I moved down there to meet up with the boys down there, and we're trying to do something extraordinary, or at least fail trying instead of never trying. So
Is there like a YouTube channel? Do they have? Is there music for the band on like
Yeah.
YouTube? Or
Oh yeah, I
Spotify?
was just watching them.
Oh really? Oh
yeah,
cool.
there's. Frankie was telling me some stories about it.
I'm sure.
so I mean, we just started, so we got a lot of work to do. There's
Yeah.
not too much stuff on them.
That's cool, though.
The second video that comes up when you try to YouTube that though is just all I saw was the thumbnail. I did not click it. It was just Frankie showing his nipple like a rock star.
Oh, that was in Philadelphia. Yeah,
And he
I know
knows
what
where
you're
it was.
talking about. Yeah,
Now he's gonna get pulled from YouTube.
I'm surprised that you know where that was.
that wasn't even our channel. That was there's this lady that goes to rock shows in Philadelphia area. I'm sure other places too, and she just holds this sign, and it says "Why rock and roll?" And she has like her own like YouTube thing where she just asks people why rock and roll, and I just showed her my nipple and said, "Why not?"
Is she?
Other people had better answers.
Is she for or against it? Does she even have a platform? Or?
No, it was more just a spark
It's like a
conversation.
thought.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. Why
She was
rock
cool.
and roll? What's up, boys? What's up, Larry? How's it going, man?
Larry.
I gotta shut
Larry.
this off. I'm vibrating my butt.
Oh man.
So you just come back up to hang with family? Is that?
No, Laurenside actually like funded me to come up here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah,
The
it
fact
was,
that they
Back
do
to back
that.
shows Friday, Saturday.
it was just for the shows. We might do one on Tuesday too, or Wednesday before I head out. I'm leaving on Thursday.
Okay, if that's gonna
Awesome.
happen, you got to let us know so we can pump it up.
Absolutely.
I know it was packed there.
It was packed.
It was packed.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was.
My mom sent a video to me, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And she's like,
in February.
"She's like, Frankie's playing," and I go, "Oh,
Oh.
it makes sense."
Man,
Slamming.
it's not just me though. I mean, that's a good place.
Yeah, but in February,
oh yeah.
that a lot of that was you.
For
So,
any place to be like that in February.
you know, there's so much. Marla and Tracy are the first people around here to really get this music scene going. I feel like, I don't want to take away from other places that have had good music, but
Mhm.
like on a consistent basis, they go out of their way to bring, you on Frankie, they bring those people in from, is it New Hampshire, that
Massachusetts.
that I don't know what
Appalachian still.
Appalachian
Yeah.
still, there you go. Those
Andrew,
guys.
Maybe
Yeah.
Andrew's watching.
I mean, it's just awesome to have like good music all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
They really take it to like another level too. They like set a new standard for the local music. Like,
Yeah.
And you were one of the originals.
yeah, I didn't even realize it at the time. They told me they were new, but like we were just talking about it the other day, me and Marla, and it's like it was like that, just kind of there when it kind of started. So
Yeah.
I think that's why we really feel like family. I'm glad when they like fly me up here, which I was like a little uncomfortable about it in the way of like I don't want to use people just to see them. Like I could figure out another way, but I'm glad it worked out to have a big crowd and actually make it profitable for everyone. So that's good.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I think you paid for your plane ticket.
Newbie
I hope.
said,
Actually, props to Marla's sister. She got us the plane tickets.
No shit.
Because she works for JetBlue.
Newbie said he's
All
seen him
right.
Friday and he loved it. So there you go. Must have been pretty killer.
So what's new in your life? Anybody? Go first.
all sorts of great things.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just doing the usual. Since you left, the only thing crazy that happened for me is I became a county legislator, which isn't as extravagant as going in a rock band. So
Hey,
yeah.
teach their own. Some people really don't like rock music.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty cool. Do you guys ever do shows up here? Will you ever get up this?
Yeah, actually,
direction?
again, Lawrence. I feel like I'm just plugging Lawrence side, but you know they deserve it.
It's okay. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
Nice hoodie.
Oh yeah, they
While he's plugging the hoodie too.
It's comfortable. I live in Texas now, so I don't even own a hoodie. That's interesting. But end of June, I believe they're going to do the 2-year anniversary for being open for 2 years, which is dope.
Doesn't feel like it's been
And,
2 years.
It's going to be outdoors.
Crazy.
Probably going to have the whole band up here.
That'd be
I'm
awesome.
going to try and book a tour around it too. Like
Hell yeah.
from Texas up to the Northeast and back and see what happens.
You gonna get a bus?
A bus? No.
Big white van.
Yeah, bus it.
Probably just my truck and trailer.
Get a Greyhound. You should team up with Sam Swanson. Get in on
I
his
saw that. That's
Greyhound.
cool.
Yeah,
I think it's dope.
Yeah.
I haven't. You know what? Did Sam ever get that thing going? Is the Greyhound bus around?
I don't know. Sam, send us an update.
Oh.
Come check in with us. Let us know what's going on with your Greyhound. I know that he's been out kind of bopping around the country a little bit lately.
Yeah.
So
How do you find out you have singing talent? Are you just like in the shower at 12 and nail like a good like solo and you're like, shit,
I don't know.
I can sing, man.
I don't know if what moment I realized I actually could sing.
Yeah.
But I think part of it was like competition with my sister or something. Like I remember being like, no, I can sing more like Billy Joe from Green Day. And then we're like, to my stepdad, which is her real dad, like, who sings it better? And that's one of the first times I was told I sang it better. And I'm like, yeah, in your face, Marissa. But even then, I still like didn't take it seriously. It was just weird.
What made you take it serious? Like, what really got you on the path of like, hey, I can sing and I can just as a career? Because not a lot of people try, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can't. It's tough to make a career out of it.
The career part was definitely accidental.
Yeah.
I mean, once I started to recognize that it was a possibility and it was more profitable than any day job I've had most of the time, I started taking it like that. I forgot my train of thought, actually. What the hell was I just saying? It's totally gone. It's totally gone.
Well, there you go.
rock stars. It's probably all the,
That's all
you
the
know,
freaking
It's a lot of booze.
substances.
If I had known I was coming here,
you wouldn't have done anything.
no, I
different.
would not show up with a
You-
hangover.
that should put you right back on track,
Yeah.
right? You should be good to go.
Coffee and beer.
The old hair of the dog. I feel a lot better, but still a
he's-
little foggy.
He's teased before the show that by the time that we're finished here, he's going to mix those together.
Oh God. Okay. All right. I like
Saw it
it.
on TikTok.
Really?
TikTok. Fuck TikTok.
Mhm.
Coffee.
I
beer.
got to tell you,
I like TikTok
This-
sometimes.
if you, I saw something that somebody, of course, the internet's crazy, right?
Mhm.
So somebody shared something on the internet the other day that I thought, wow, that is slightly profound. So TikTok in the US is different than TikTok in China. China owns TikTok.
I've seen TikTok in China.
In China, well, then you can tell me, right? So I've been told that like the algorithm in China pumps up that like gets them to do smart shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then TikTok here obviously pumps up them to do dumb shit like weird dances and who knows
Kinds
what
of
else.
crazy shit,
Yeah, like just stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And like what better way to undermine your enemy
Right.
than
Yeah.
just to like train your people through an algorithm that you've like hacked
a
into.
lot more discipline.
Oh
A lot
my
more
god.
discipline. So recently I've started hanging out with legitimate Chinese people through work.
Cool.
Like the whole so I'm bartending down there too.
Nice.
You know what I mean? New place. I still can't book all the shows in the world down there yet. Just working on it. So I'm bartending in this this like seafood bar place. It's pretty cool, like Cajun food. The whole staff is 100% Chinese, like from China. The whole kitchen doesn't speak a lick of English.
Oh, man, that's gonna be.
Is it the best
tough.
fucking Chinese food?
It's not Chinese food. It's Cajun food.
Cajun?
Yeah, like seafood boils. Like
Oh, I thought you
crawfish.
said Asian. And then
No.
you said Cajun.
Cajun.
Yeah.
So they're all Chinese, but they're cooking Cajun.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
And they
I
do
got
it really
some-
well.
I got some people that are gonna be pissed about that. But
There's-
we'll see.
there's
Or maybe
gotta-
they'll be happy. I don't know.
There's got to be a language barrier, right? Like huge.
There is,
Like
yeah.
like how do they do any of them speak like really solid English in the back that you can like,
The
hey, I
owner,
need this, or
no, like it's really hard to communicate with the kitchen. But luckily, I'm a bartender. I don't have to do that too often.
right? Yeah.
The owner is a 28-year-old Chinese girl, works every day. You know, she's like, they work hard. I really like working with a disciplined crew. That's cool. That's hard to find, but even her English isn't perfect, so it is kind of hard to like communicate.
That's wild.
But I'm learning a little Mandarin, which is fun.
Yeah.
I know I've mostly learned swear words and how to tell people off in certain ways.
Yeah.
There's not many people you meet every day that can speak Mandarin. So,
No.
yeah, that's
I'll
kinda
never
cool.
speak it fluently.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be very useful in most situations.
No,
you
no,
never know.
You
Nobody
never
even
know when you're
cares.
gonna need some Mandarin.
Yeah, you never know.
Nobody even cares either.
Could you imagine somebody be like, "I'll give you $100 if you can say a sentence in Mandarin"? It could
It'd
happen.
be like the time of the beat sweet.
Oh,
Hopefully,
oh,
hopefully
there we go.
YouTube doesn't translate that.
Yeah, no, we want it translated.
Jesus.
We want
So, I
it.
mean, go F yourself or something.
Basically, it's like
Yeah.
the more violent version.
Is
of that,
anything
yeah.
like Hop Die Frock Eye?
No, Hot Die Frauke is way different. Too sexual of a Dutch saying.
Anybody
God.
here?
Jesse taught me that.
Yeah.
Anybody speak a full different language?
No, I know a little bit of Spanish.
I used to be really good at Spanish.
Yeah.
I studied it for 10 years. I never got to like where I was with the native speakers though.
Yeah.
Learn
I know a
lot.
little bit of a whole bunch of languages.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think it's ADHD thing. Like learn, just got to learn a little bit, and then I get bored.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's it. I used to work with the school I used to work at had students from 28 different countries. So anytime I'd get them in and be like, oh, teach me something about where you're from.
Hmm
It's really interesting.
It is interesting. A lot of different points of views culturally. I've learned. So being down in Texas, very, 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 very diverse. Like it's funny because
A lot more than here.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny because I talk to anyone from a different state, they never know truly what the other state's like
Mhm.
unless you go there and spend time there. So like in Texas, they think New York is just New York City. And then here they just think that it's a bunch of root tooting cowboys. You know what
Right.
I mean, down there. And it's really not. It's honestly a pretty progressive state. Booming. Traffic's terrible. I'll tell you that
Austin's the
much.
tech capital of the United States. It took over from Silicon Valley.
Already?
It's
Yes.
just
thought it was
because all those
fine.
guys moved from Silicon Valley to Austin. They were like, get the fuck out of
So you
fuck
can
outta
imagine
California.
You can imagine what's going on down there. I mean, it's got to be a huge, especially progressive swing with people like that coming on.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't it
Yeah.
kind of their fault that the taxes were so bad in Silicon Valley?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the
They're bringing them to now they're bringing them to Texas.
Yeah, that's great.
that's the Texas people. They're saying like, hey, remember how you voted in California? You want to not vote that
Mm.
here in Texas? And yeah, we'll see how it goes for them. So
Texas could use some change ups.
yeah,
Like
a
the-
little, it never hurts to go forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Times are changing.
Like you
So,
can't really talk about weed in Texas. Like people get uncomfortable.
Because
Got yelled at a bar for like being. I mean, you got to get yelled at every now and then. But I was like, anybody got some weed I can buy?
Jesus
no,
Christ.
yeah.
You know what
Fucking newbies speaking Russian.
Yeah,
Oh,
Newbie's pretty good at Russian, so yeah.
Or is it Ukrainian?
I'm not sure. And then Chris Basin asked if Frankie's got anything booked. So Frankie's lives in Texas now, Chris. So he's not really
Yeah.
up and at him here.
End of June. End of June.
End of June, be here.
The
Lauren
full band,
Tide.
though. It'll be Marsha Drive.
Full band. That's gonna be never seen the full band.
Ukrainian.
We'll see how it goes. It is Ukrainian.
Sounds awesome. Ukrainian. Nice.
I think it'll be a good time.
How many people is there in the band?
3-piece.
3-piece band.
I play bass and sing in that one.
No cello.
Sweet.
No cello.
Not like Nirvana.
No, I actually like cello, man. Cello's sick. I wish I knew how to play one. That's another thing I'll probably learn a little
Learn
bit
a
of.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that the cowbell's not a thing. It's the one thing I could play in a band, and no one ever wants to add it in, and it's a shame.
Could always use the electric triangle too.
Was that a lot like the cowbell?
I don't know. I don't even know if it
Oh.
really exists, but
Oh, we can try it.
it sounds
Sure.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Electric triangle,
Yeah, like an electric guitar.
but it's a triangle with a.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but
Just like ding,
That sounds awesome.
it's like distorted.
Oh God, crazy. So you know how to play bass? Do you know how to do drums and all and everything, or is it just
Actually, the first thing I picked up, aside from like singing in my bedroom, first thing I picked up was drums. I've always felt like a drummer in a way, but when I joined Nasty Habit, I didn't have bass, so they were like, "Yo, we know you can sing and play guitar. Do you want to be in our band? We need a bass player. We just think you can do it."
Just learn it,
I never picked up a bass.
you can just
was-
do it?
and that's your
Yeah.
thing, right? That's your
Yeah.
strongest instrument now,
Now,
right?
For sure. I think even more than singing. Mostly because like singing, allergy season, can't sing as well. Your voice, as you get older, you lose it over time.
Fair
Hopefully
enough.
not too much. This doesn't help. But yeah, drums was the first thing I picked up. But I had to sell my drum set to get a bass and some gear.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between and I sound like an idiot because I really don't know. What's the difference between a bass and a guitar? Really?
A bass is first off 4 strings or 5 strings. I guess it could have as many strings. It's just a lower octave scale.
Okay.
So just fatter strings, and you're tuned instead of to E1, you're like tuned to E2 or something.
Okay.
You know,
Gotcha.
I know.
I know.
Yep.
I do. I mean, I know guitar. Like I know the tuning and stuff because
Okay.
I took acoustic guitar in high school, so I knew like a little bit. But I've never seen a bass or touch one. You just like see the bass guys always like just like jamming, chilling.
It
like,
feels to
they're-
me like
yeah.
you can feel the bass
That's
a
what I
lot
like
more. Like
about
you can it like carries
Mm.
the song
Mm-hmm.
to me.
And
Like the other stuff's just kind of fill. I mean the drums and the bass, but like
Yeah.
you know, like a lead guitar is just
think about modern, any pop music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go back to even disco and stuff. It's always from now to then. It's just bass. Like what you feel in your chest, what people are dancing
Mhm.
to is rap. It's like always a bass line. You know what I mean? I
Do you
think it's
ever-
underappreciated. to
Do you
be
ever
honest.
play acoustic bass?
Yeah, it's fun, but I don't have one.
No.
Even when I do an acoustic set, or in the past, I've done it with my old bands or something. I would still play an electric one because
Okay.
it's a clean instrument. It's not like electric guitar.
Changes the
It
sound.
changes the sound. Yeah.
So with bass, it doesn't really change the sound.
No, you
It's
like
just
you.
louder.
I always wanted to be an electric bass, even in an acoustic set. Yeah, they
Have-
play much differently.
Have you ever broke one? Like just slammed it on the stage? Like you ever done one of those before?
No, I was too broke.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
left one in
it's too
Oklahoma
bad.
one time though.
You should have broke that one.
Yeah,
that was the one.
I
you
got it
should've-
back. That's how I
Oh.
met my
Oh,
bandmates.
don't
No shit.
don't
Yeah.
break that one. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Just
you
by
need-
accident.
Yeah, I met them by accident. We might have met anyways, but I was like 17. I had one bass. I left it in I think it was Oklahoma or something at a venue. We drove like 8 hours to the next show. It was a festival, Rocklahoma. And I was like, "Oh, I don't have a bass." Whoops. Yeah. I was panicking. I was freaking out. I didn't have money to buy a new one, and I didn't have a backup. Broke as a joke. And I was like, "Oh, this band is playing there tonight, and then they'll be at the same festival as us tomorrow." So
Pick it
I
up.
borrowed someone's bass that night. They brought me my bass, and then we just became best friends. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Rocklahoma.
Now,
So
what,
wait,
9 years
Where
later, we're still friends.
where did you grow up?
Seneca Falls.
You grew up. That's what I thought. So you grew up in Seneca Falls, but when you were 17, you were playing in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You're just like touring right from the get go, or what?
Yeah, dropped out of school. Everyone thought it was a bad idea.
No shit.
Probably was, but
Now you're an entrepreneur.
yeah, try to be at least.
You could have went to college and went in debt and everything. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you made a pretty good decision.
Yeah. college wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Are you doing any contractor work anymore?
No,
No.
nope.
Done.
I haven't picked up a shovel in a long time.
Yeah.
But I do really like money.
It's in your back pocket.
I actually started handing out cards again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Down there.
down there.
Is there licensing and stuff? Like, do you need to go
There is, but you don't need it.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should probably still get insurance. I don't know. the
Insurance is always
specific
a
rules,
good
but
idea.
I know that you don't specifically need to be a licensed contractor,
Hmm.
which is interesting.
There's a lot of competition for that down there too. Contract work.
There is, but
Yeah.
It's gonna be
there's
a ton
also
of work
like
though.
they're all busy.
Are they
Yeah.
really?
To be
Yeah.
honest, the roads they're building so much. Like traffic is so bad because of how many people have moved in. There's so many new houses and developments constantly. It's crazy. And I'm just one of those guys that's making it worse because I moved there too. But
Yeah. Well,
I'm already complaining about it, like I've lived there my whole life or something. All these people are moving here. Traffic's bad. Oh, that's me.
No, I'm one of those.
Yeah.
It's funny. All those places. Same thing happened in Denver. Colorado. When people started like seeing like, oh, Colorado is really cool. Like
Mhm.
it just became like, it's like a hub now. It's not like what it used to be. It's not like a little mountain place. Now it's like you're in the
Mhm.
city. Yeah, it's pretty. And I mean, that's kind of people move from wanting to be on near the ocean in the big cities to, hey, maybe being in the woods and the mountains and
Mhm.
isn't too bad.
I'm a
So,
mountain kind of guy. I don't like
yeah.
the city. I really like visiting the city and spending time there, but I like mountains and trees, man. Dallas has no trees or anything.
Really?
So you're right in Dallas?
Just 20 minutes outside of the city.
Outside.
Yeah. I'm in a suburb of 55,000 people or something like that.
Plano.
Yeah,
Plano's too expensive. That's
Yeah.
north.
Is
I
that
go
right?
there all the time. I go party in Plano.
I have a
We've got
friend
family
that's
in Plano.
moving north of Dallas right now, and they're trying to buy a house. And like you were saying, they had to contact a builder, and 2 of the lots they were already ahead, like haven't built yet, already sold out.
Hmm.
So they had to find another like building development somewhere else and reserve a house for next year
Mm-hmm.
before they can ever move. It's freaking nuts.
If there was ever a place to try and buy some land, it's an hour outside of the city in Dallas or Austin because it's growing so fast. That's going to be a city block one day, and you're gonna profit.
Yeah, you're gonna make out on it.
Because
So
Plano used to be like nothing. Plano used to just be a small town, and then the city expanded into it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. With all the housing developments, you could just see it happening. You could just watch it grow year by year. Like,
I wonder, do you think that'll keep up with everybody being able to now work remote for the most part? Like a lot of jobs, people don't have to live in the city anymore. I think that there's still a push to do that, but I don't think they have to.
yeah, I don't know. It's we're in a lot of things have changed, even aside from COVID and stuff. A lot of things changed in the past like 5 years pretty drastically. Felt like things were always moving in a different direction. I felt like something changed hard.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
People are different or the same, and I just know about it more.
No, that's what I always. My thing is, are we better informed? Has it always been this way, or are we like, or is it really different? So I never know. Yeah.
Me and my guitarist were looking at old videos from like, I don't even remember what it was. To be honest, I was stoned to the bone. I just remember it was like, oh, you know what it was? It was a Rolling Stones documentary. It's great. It was about the free show they did. I forget what it was called. I didn't even know about it, but it was a really cool documentary, I think on Netflix. And some dude got like stabbed at the concert, and it was just a hellhole. And they had like 50,000 people show up to the middle of like some small town that
Watkins Glen.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
They did
thing in Watkins. Yeah.
it was cool. But one thing that we really took note of, the people were exactly the same. I've always kind of like tried to think out, like put myself in different eras. Like we watch movies of like Roman times,
Mhm.
but that's not how it really was
No.
entirely. We had the same brain. We haven't evolved. Just technology has innovated. That's it.
Definitely.
We're the same people with different technology.
Different clothes.
Probably same humor.
Yep.
Same good and bad, so.
Yeah. We would think there's more good now than bad for the fact that, again, people being better informed. Like the information
Yes.
everyone has and the options they have are way more back in the day than when it was like, hey, I need to kill that guy and steal his chicken, or I'm going to die.
Yeah.
It's like, that's where I'm like, maybe people, because now, really, I know the US does have some issues with poverty and everything, but
Mm.
most places there's somewhere you can go and sleep and get some food and
You can eat a
and
double cheeseburger for, well, now it's like
$1.
$2.50.
oh,
But
is it $2?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah,
Things are better than they've ever been.
I'd like to think so. Yeah,
Other than they're on average things are better than
Mm.
they've ever been, and people like still think that things are getting worse. It's
Yeah.
like you just like it's your brain.
I think it's like an idea that it, like, I don't think that perfect is possible,
No,
Right.
no.
So I think it could be better. Like, our government could not be bought, this oligarchy we were getting into.
Now there's something we can. Now
Yeah.
we didn't say the government was getting better, Frankie.
Yeah. Well, that's what
Yeah.
affects people's lives, and it's
Yeah.
like you can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? I looked at a surprising graph. Like, I always knew the 1% was pretty much unachievably rich,
Mhm.
but I never saw it on like paper. I saw a thing that was like showing, they were like, this is what Republicans think distribution of wealth should look like. This is what Democrats, comparing, and a few other, everyone was about the same. There was still like a gradual slope. And then it was like, this is what everybody thinks it is.
Mhm.
And it was just way different. It was off the charts. Our poor and middle class looks about the same. There is almost no middle class. And then there's like people who are slightly wealthy. And then it's
Yeah.
off the charts.
Yeah.
It's just here and off the charts. It's bananas.
I know exactly what
see
you're
it is
talking
crazy.
about. There was one where they did it by like building size,
Mhm.
and it was so funny to see like the single wide and like double wides for like the middle. And then when
Mhm.
you got to the rich, it was like taller. It was as tall as the tallest building in the world. I don't know if it's in China or where
Mhm.
it is, but yeah, I mean it's not even close.
It's a crazy
money-wise.
world.
So
We're all screwed. Together, though.
so
Together.
I don't know if Phil's on board all the time, but we're going to go find a Lipton
Absolutely
tea
not.
factory and we're going to throw the tea in the harbor. So
Mm.
if you,
Where are you
Ev-
gonna find a harbor?
I don't know. I'm probably in Maine.
Bahaba. Going to Bahaba.
yeah. Massachusetts. So if you ever want to join Frankie,
That sounds like a good time.
those fish are going to be hopped up on caffeine.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, it's going to be
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Can you imagine what would happen with the environmentalists?
I think we should-
PETA would have me
Maybe
hung in the
maybe
streets.
we could just tar and feather some tax collectors instead.
Yeah.
Imagine really getting tarred and feathered.
It sounds absolutely horrible.
So we were thinking honey.
Because think about
honey
how
and
honey.
feather.
Yeah, we
is
wanted
okay.
to be more.
We don't want to. We don't really want to.
We don't want to hurt anybody.
wanna
We just
hurt
want to
people.
shame them.
Third-degree burns all over their bodies. Probably dead after.
Yeah.
It looks cute in the movies growing up.
Ooh,
Yeah.
And then you think about it.
like
'Cause-
boiling tar.
You know,
Yeah.
as a contractor, if you've ever had to put tar on a roof or anything, on flashing,
Yeah.
you know how hot you have to get that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to touch that shit.
And if
Yeah.
it's cold, it is seriously like you can't
move it.
move it.
If you
it's
stuck
like,
your hand in it, you just get a little black on your
Yeah.
hand. If it's hot,
oh man, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So
Yeet.
that's why honey's a little. I think
And you can't even
honey
get it
tarring
off.
Is the way to
like
go. So-
old tar must have been worse too. It's
yeah. Oh
probably
yeah.
better now.
Oh yeah.
You
You just
think
had to. Man.
tar's better now.
Yeah,
Just-
come on. Why wouldn't it be? Jeez.
Same tar, different
And
technology.
it must have been expensive. Like if you're gonna throw your tar on people, you must have been really pissed. So
I feel like that's a rich man's game.
yeah, if you're gonna tar and
Yeah.
feather
I
someone,
think
it's not the poor.
from what I was reading about this when I was trying to figure out whether or not it was feasible, I think
To honey and feather.
I think they were using like pine tar, like it was like tree tar,
Hmm.
Oh, so not like the black asphalt tar that.
right?
Okay.
Not like oil based tar,
Okay.
but like tree based tar.
Yeah, because
It's more environmentally friendly.
whale fat was
it's-
useful.
Makes
All the
sense.
vegans would be on board with it.
Wait,
All-
how did they make tar before? Because we would just like use whale fat candles at that point in time.
Yeah,
wouldn't we?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't have.
Do you think-
oil really?
I don't think the first tar and feathering that is documented was sometime around the 14 or 1500s.
Mm.
So they were getting tar, but I think that was tree tar.
Hmm.
I'd be way more pissed about someone throwing whale fat and throwing feathers on me, though. That would probably be.
It's not
It
something-
wouldn't even stick. It would just be like,
That's not something that you see these days. I've never seen whale fat before.
Yeah. No.
Would
We
you
sh-
would you try whale if it was already cooked for you?
I don't know. I like. I
Depends on the
want.
whale.
Yes, I want to eat it.
Mm.
I do want to eat it. Yes, the answer is yes.
Feels like a rite of passage,
But
we did it too many times.
I don't want to encourage people to kill whales.
Don't kill the whales, but if it's already dead, I'm gonna try it probably.
Yeah, but if you eat it, then they're gonna go kill another one. That's the I don't know.
I feel like they're gonna do it anyways.
That's a good point. I guess it couldn't hurt. Let's just eat some. Let's go to Alaska. I know
PETA is done with us today. They're like, you're dead.
PETA's been
it's
done
over."
with us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's
PETA's
not
been
good.
done. We've come at PETA directly
Yeah.
several times.
PETA.
We haven't
PETA
gotten-
scarred me.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, those videos are.
Oh, ooh,
yeah.
Those are
yeah.
bad.
I can never listen to Sarah McLachlan again.
I was like 8 years. No, the stuff on the internet, not the commercials.
No, yeah.
Like the
I
bad
know which
stuff.
one you're talking about. Yeah.
Just abuse.
No
I
thanks.
mean,
No.
I feel like it's good to know that people are doing that so that somebody can do something about it. But damn,
The idea
I
that
was
that's as
8.
widespread as they make it out to be is there. We need to have more competing information as well. Like we need to have people showing what's really happening.
I think
And most of our farmers are not doing those things.
no, but
pretty much what I
happens
was gonna
enough.
get.
I mean, think about factory farms alone. I feel like we were just talking about this last night.
Mhm.
I was too smashed to totally remember everything last night. But
You brought it up.
even if people aren't beating the turkeys, it's still like gross how we produce it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it freaks me out a little bit too much.
That's why we're starting to see the trend. You're really starting to see the grass-fed beefs and the free-range chickens. Things are starting to slowly get there, but with that comes increased cost. And I think everything's the bottom dollar, right? And that's kind of where it is. So, I don't know if you've ever heard of Butcher Box. It's a pretty cool company, and they do like all sustainable food, and it is way more expensive than your local place, but at the same
Sponsored by Butcher Box.
You
No.
should get some local meat though. I tell you what,
so.
The 18th Amendment on Thursday or Friday, I came out and I had a steak. I wanted a burger, and they had a good day, so they were out of burger by the time I got here, and they had a steak, and I found out a couple things that were really interesting. They get their meat delivered from Bedient Farm, which is in Middlesex, so like 8 miles up the road, something like that. 10, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
They get delivered from like a farm right there every day, fresh.
Whoa.
And the New York strip steak that I got was like, it was 2 inches thick, cooked. And I don't know what kind of, like, they had something on it, just like a little glaze or something.
They call that love. They put love on it.
Love.
It was
sprinkled.
fucking unreal. It was a great steak.
Awesome.
I wasn't hungry.
It's at least as good as the steak that I make, and that's a high compliment.
That is, everyone knows how they like a steak.
Yeah,
you should be the one who cooks the best steak for you.
I had a banging steak this morning. It was amazing on my way here, and that was about a 2-inch thick New York strip as well. But Chet makes a hell of a steak.
A New York strip will never be the best steak for me, though. It's got to be a ribeye, bone in, tomahawk.
I like ribeye.
Oh man,
I like good T-bone steak.
T-bone's good too. But people hate on it because they're like, oh, it's a strip and a fillet. It's nothing special.
Yeah, hell yeah,
but it's a good steak.
It's a good steak.
Yeah.
Especially you got it. I don't like the thin ones though. You got to.
Thick.
It's got to be at least 1.5 inches.
Thick and rare.
And they have to be on the grill. A T-bone on the grill's like,
ooh,
that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Look at us talking about steak on the freaking podcast at 11 in the morning.
We talk about steak all the time. On
I
the
know,
podcast.
but just
what are you
like
talking about?
getting into it, man.
Steak is a breakfast food too.
Yeah,
You know?
there you go.
Hell yeah. I had it was a great steak. I haven't been using garlic a lot lately.
Why?
But
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Well, I just like
Are you
I'm mostly
okay?
just I've tried to trim down to just salt. Like
Oh.
just like I try to cut out a lot of the other stuff. But so this morning, a little salt, a little pepper. I got some bacon going in the cast iron. I did a reverse sear, so I got the steak almost up to temp. Got some bacon going. Threw in some of the Irish butter. Threw in some garlic. Got that kind of going in there. Got to get it going, and then just seared off that steak, and it was awesome.
I feel like you explaining how you cook and eat steak could be a good like meditation. thing.
Oh,
yeah.
I could pop it on when
There
I'm
you
trying to
go.
sleep or something.
I'll
That was nice.
I'll mic up the pan so you
Yeah.
can hear the.
It's like ASMR.
I had to turn on the fan because the smoke was starting to roll off.
So ever since you told me about the reverse sear, I always thought that was the best way to have a steak.
Yeah.
And then I had one sous vide, and then I was like, oh man, maybe this is the best way. It is like, but
It's a similar idea.
Then I looked up sous vide and I was like, that is sketchy. They cook it in a bag
Plastic.
in water.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, but I'll tell you, want to talk about like, I mean, and like every time when I'm watching the video, every time everyone cooks them perfect because it's just simple science, you know?
Well,
And then
it's
they
basically the
sear 'em.
same thing as
Yeah.
the reverse sear, except it's wet instead of dry.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
It's
the
pretty
way I do it,
interesting.
I dry it and then I cook it at a low temperature in my convection oven
Mhm.
for like 200 degrees for 15 or 20 minutes, depending on how thick it is. And then I sear it. Well, it's the same thing with the sous vide. Is you're putting it in water that's at that temperature
Right.
and letting it cook. But
It's kind of how I use do
you
it
gotta
with
dry
a
the meat.
smoker.
Yeah.
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 Put it on dry. I have a pellet smoker.
Those are fucking.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really great.
We both have them too.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing. I put it on 200. and
Walk
stay-
away and
Yeah.
come back and be like, oh, nice.
Finish
Meat's
it off
done.
at
And then just
500.
fucking crank the shit. Yeah.
That's the problem with the Traegers. Everyone's always big on the Traegers. I think if you can get one of the smokers that
I
you
got a
can
pit
open,
boss.
yeah, that's what I have too.
Yeah.
And you can open up the grate and let the flame get to it. You know, I do like a Traeger for smoking, but really the pit bosses, I love that freaking thing.
It's awesome.
Mine
Yeah.
broke though.
Oh no!
You know what? I moved.
Did the auger get fucked
the
up?
auger got stuck in it.
How the hell did you know that's what it was?
Because
You were like,
because
"Damn."
that's the failure point on these. That's the
If you
easiest
don't
failure
use
point.
it, if you don't
I
use
always
it,
thought the
it just
electric.
rests to itself.
I thought the electronics would be the issue. That's
Can
what I
you?
always thought.
So can you fix that kind of thing?
Yeah, you can
You-
replace it.
I mean, like can you?
Oh yeah, just
Yeah.
pull
Is
it
that
apart.
like yeah?
It's not that crazy.
Alright.
I pulled it apart and it was relatively simple. You know, all the wires are color coordinated. The
Mhm.
connections, there's like 4. You know,
Crazy.
a lot of small screws and
Oh yeah.
a lot of
yeah.
like, why did they design it like this? This is really annoying to take apart, and a lot of cuss words. I feel like a dad working on a car when I was doing it,
Yeah.
and I didn't have the right tools, and my face was sweating, and I was very angry.
And you didn't have a kid to yell at for a wrench. So that's
Yeah.
like a big part of that. You need one of those.
Yep.
The
So-
craziest thing with the pit boss that I never thought of was when you cook really hot with it, when you get it cranked all the way up, then you have to cool it down before you turn it off.
I never did that.
Well, I didn't do that either. And about the 4th time that I used the thing, smoke started rolling out of the pellet box.
Mm.
And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, so I started scooping out all the, because I just refilled
Yeah.
it. So I'm like
Oh,
scooping
God,
out
with
all
all
the
the
pellets.
pellets
I'm like,
caught.
it's going to be a fucking disaster. And I scooped out all the pellets and there's still smoke rolling out. And
So you closed the front? Because if you leave the front open, that shouldn't happen.
it
when
blows
it's cooling
back if you
down.
leave the front open.
Oh, okay.
No.
mine-
It blows back up the tube.
really?
Yeah.
I tried to figure out why mine was doing that. Right. I had a couple big mistakes with it. I trusted it so much at first because I hadn't had an
Too
issue
much
Yeah.
stress.
that I put a brisket on and then went to work.
Oh,
And I
no.
left my brother in charge, but he went hunting out in my backyard.
Oh no.
Comes back, the brisket's just charred.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened
Whoa.
was the auger just started feeding
Cranking.
so much pellets into it that it filled the whole bottom with
Yep.
pellets,
Yep.
and then it ignited again. It like snuffed itself out, kept feeding it. There was like a whole bag of pellets that all lit on fire at once.
That was the other thing that I
Yeah.
did that took me a little bit of a learning curve was cleaning out the ash.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't clean out the ash, then eventually that little heating element will get covered up,
Mm-hmm.
and then it does that.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. It's
Yeah.
a nice brisket too.
We should make videos about how to use that damn thing because
Yeah.
they're starting to become popular, and those are some like those things are issues that
When
it
you start
seems
it,
like everybody has when it
I just turned it on whenever temperature, started it, closed the lid.
works great.
Sometimes it wouldn't start right. You have to put it on smoke,
Yep.
leave it open for 15 minutes,
Mhm.
and then put it to whatever heat and then close it. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was having these problems.
I gotta say, mine. I've never had an issue. It's been. I don't know. I got mine. It's called the Pit Boss Pro at Lowe's, and they have like an app that you can just like start it with
Mm.
and everything, and then it also shows you how much pellets are left and everything like that. So I think that's helpful, is you can kind of like keep an eye on it.
I got
with your
that Tractor
phone.
Supply special. Mine was a little cheaper.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me
Yeah.
too. I thought I was gonna have the app,
Yeah,
but then I got home and it's got the electronic screen, but no,
it doesn't have
no
the
Bluetooth.
Smoke It app.
No Bluetooth.
Oh,
Funny
that
you got the
sucks.
Pro and don't have any problems. We
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Cheaper version.
That's why it's always
That
it's
extra-
always worth it to spend an extra 200 because
Yep.
now I don't have the grill.
And guess what? It wasn't even. It was on sale. I told Phil I got it for like $450.
Oh, mine was 600.
Yeah, it's $450 on sale at
Mine was
Lowe's.
$350.
What happened?
Yeah, I don't know, Frankie. I don't know, man.
What happened?
They
It
saw
was
you
pretty
walk in
cheap,
and they were
yeah.
like, "Oh, we got him."
"Oh, we got this guy. We're gonna nail him."
They got me good. Actually, it was a
Okay.
gift, but I just knew how much it cost.
Wow,
Costed,
Yeah.
I just said.
that's awesome.
I'm-
But they really got you, Frankie. Tractor
Yeah.
Supply.
got somebody. I didn't spend
Yeah.
a dollar. on
Oh,
it.
somebody got nailed
Yeah.
for it. That's right. So you grew up in Seneca Falls. What was it like? Did you have any interactions with the reservation? Anything like that?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also normal because it's always been there, but like there's a lot of problems with that. I don't know the politics into it too hard.
I just see it on Facebook
And
all the
all
time. It's
all you
freaking
hear is
crazy.
just like the town talk basically, and sometimes you'll see the damage. Like I don't know who did what ever. You know what I mean? It's quarrels between, it seems like, families. you
Yeah.
know? And like they tore down all the buildings in there like one night, and like they're just still sitting there years later, 2 years later, just a bunch of like the gas station just pulled to pieces. It's almost like
Wasn't they couldn't get a permit or
it's
something?
like a message. No, that was like
No.
a takeover.
That was like
Oh,
two. I don't know.
Or
if
so I
this is-
hear.
Yeah, it was like another reservation or somebody in the
What?
community.
That's
Yeah,
That's insane.
I think it was
Yeah.
like a power, like just a power thing, straight up. Like there's not like, you don't get elected, I don't think, to be chief, but they still have chief and they still have like a system in place. And when people don't like it, somebody else tries to come in. This is how it's been. This is how it seems to me, at least. And they were like, "Nah, you ain't doing that." So they always take over each other's gas stations and stuff. And I feel like, does this happen everywhere? You know, or is this a Seneca Falls thing?
You mean at all the reservations, or like,
Well,
just the Penyan burned
definitely
area is
happens
going
all
to
over
get
the
taken over
world.
by Sunoco?
they brought in a police force and were like arresting people and
Yeah.
throwing them in the back of a van and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Are they,
I
like
remember.
tribal marshals or something?
Yeah.
That's insane. Did I ever tell you about the time that I almost had all my stuff taken by a tribal marshal?
No.
I was out at the I was out by Cuba, you know, that reservation out there. I didn't realize I was on a reservation.
Mm.
The other thing I didn't know was that if you're on a reservation, that's like sovereign territory. I kind of knew some of that, but I didn't know that like if you're on a reservation, you're not in New York State.
No.
You're in that country.
Mhm.
Like what, you know. And so I'm there fishing with my brother. And I thought everything was copacetic. I'm there like trying to pull out some walleye, and I see this marshal go by and didn't think anything of it. About 15 minutes later, I look up and he's just like leaning on the bridge, like, "Hey guys, like, hey, what's going on?" He goes, "Y'all have fishing licenses?" Well, he'd driven up to the only place where you can buy a fishing license and asked if
Mhm.
anybody came in, and he knew the answer to that
So
question.
do you need a separate license on the?
Yeah, you have to have,
Whoa.
because you're not in New York State.
Yeah.
So a New York
Oh,
State
right,
fishing
right.
license, I didn't even know I was on a
Yeah.
reservation. I just thought I was fishing in this little, you know, I didn't, I know where I was. So the guy's like, "Oh yeah, so what color is your fishing license?" I said, "Oh, well, I have a lifetime license, so it's just different colors, you know." And he goes, "Get your shit and come up here."
Mm.
And me and my brother like gathered up all our stuff. He goes, "Go ahead and put that in the car," which I found out later why he said that was that he explained to us that we're not in New York State. We're not in the United States. We're
Yeah.
in, you know,
America.
Seneca, whatever, Seneca Nation, I
Yeah.
think. And he says, so here's what you have, right? So you didn't get a fishing license. And because of that, we can seize all of your property, including your vehicle, everything. So that's why I
Damn.
had us put it in the vehicle, was because they were going to take it and tow it.
Was it what
And-
kind of car was it?
It was my brother's car.
Oh,
But
screw.
whatever.
Screw.
You know?
Yeah.
But so he's explained it to us. He's like, yeah, so the way it works is you're allowed to walk away with a shirt on your back. And in a couple months, you can go in front of the tribal council to try to argue to them to see if you can get your stuff back. Whether you
That's
do,
hardcore.
whether they agree to give it back to you or not, you're paying the towing fee, which is like thousands of dollars. And he just like did this whole thing, and then he's like, but what you can do, you can get a 1-day fishing license for $30 at the gas station up the street.
Yeah.
And there's 2 walleyes in this pool, and then down here around the corner he was just like trying to sell us on going to get a fishing license.
Did you go get the fishing license?
But hell no, we got the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I'm never going back there.
Yeah. They don't want you there.
No.
And I get it.
And
I
the
get it.
lake that we were next to, he's like, you see that buoy? That's the border. If you're on the other side of that buoy, like you can launch here with your fishing equipment. I have to see the line in the water. If you got the line in the water and you're on that side of the buoy, you're good. You're in New York State.
Mm.
If you float over to this side of the buoy, take all your shit.
I know
Like,
there's like
holy
parts
crap.
of the reservation where like
You have no rights.
If you're
There is
not-
no constitution there.
if you're not part of that tribe, you don't get to go to that part of the reservation. I think there's only like 17 people who can speak Seneca left in the whole
Really?
United States.
Is that like the
The-
Navajo thing from the World War II?
I don't know.
Do you remember? You ever hear about that?
No, maybe.
So like Navajo is some language that doesn't match up with any other languages.
Oh,
So they used Navajo to communicate in code during World War II. They'd call submarines like
Cool.
turtles,
turtles.
and they'd like different kinds of birds were different kinds of airplanes, and they would just speak Navajo to each other over the radio.
Did
It's
not
cool.
know that.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, it's
pretty
pretty
cool.
neat stuff.
There's
Yeah.
only 2 fluent speakers of Seneca too. The rest of them just kind of know it.
No shit.
Yeah.
Are they
only
in
know this
Seneca
because-
Falls? Is it
Not all of them. No.
okay?
I actually know this just from one of my sister's friends. She's like she's full Seneca. She lives in Buffalo or something close by there. There's Seneca land over there too. And she's an educator on Seneca history, basically. She goes to white schools to teach people about Native Americans, which they
Sweet.
didn't really do
Send her our
too
way.
much in my school.
We'll put her on the show.
I would have
Yeah.
thought for sure that would have been taught in Seneca Falls, out of all places.
It was.
I mean, you
but
like
not
grew
really.
up.
Yeah.
You grew up with people. Did you ever
I thought Columbus was a good guy.
really?
Yeah. I
Did,
was like, oh, cool.
did you ever meet any of the kids and become friends with them on the reservation? Like, did they ever like come out and hang out in town? And
They went to the same school.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they go to.
Yeah, I'm friends with like Leroy
Oh.
Halftown. I never remember what anybody does in a town, but I think his dad's the chief, Halftown, Clint,
Wow.
and Leroy's a solid dude, man. He's a great lacrosse player.
Cool. I thought they had their own school. I didn't know they went to Seneca Falls High School. That's
I
crazy.
think they're like,
Or not
like
Seneca
maybe in
Falls.
Buffalo or something. There's like schools that they go to, like their own schools, but
You guys don't go to
they want to
Seneca.
have their own schools. There's not enough people. you know
Is
what I
that
mean?
Waterloo? What high
Seneca-
school?
Minders.
Minders
Minders
is the
Academy.
high school. Okay, gotcha.
I get to say I went to an academy.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Minders Academy.
They just named it that. It's
Mighty
not-
Mighty Minders.
Yeah.
We used to go there and play them in football, and like they were never very good. Minders
Football
and,
team
Yeah,
sucks.
and I just remember, but the school was like nice. And it was cool.
Lacrosse, basketball.
I know they
specifically,
spanked us
was
in
great.
basketball.
Yeah,
Basketball, when I was in, our team was great. I wasn't on
Yeah.
the team or anything.
I played against them, and I was like, they just moved different than every other team I've ever played against. They were just
really.
faster.
Yeah,
It's like, wow, this is
Mhm.
we can't play against this team.
but
They
the
got really good. They went like D1 and like played like semi-pro teams and stuff.
Whoa,
Yeah.
really? Jeez.
That's
It's
cool.
The facilities at the school are nice, like that field and the bleachers. Like compared to Dundee, we play in a like field pasture kind of. So it's like it's kind of
Mm.
cool when you go to other schools and they have amenities. So we have like potholes that you gotta like
Yeah.
bring dirt and you like shove it
I
in the
did
field.
track and yeah, I did track and cross country, and that wasn't a huge program there.
Yeah.
So you must have been to Dundee before, right?
Yeah, I
So
raced at
you know what
Dundee.
I'm talking about.
We didn't even have like a track. We had like this stone dust track that we ran on at the school. That was also like you might break your ankle if it rained hard that day. You know what I mean?
We had that up until I don't know, like 2001.
They
The
redid it.
Cinder track. Those are I
I
used
was
to
gonna
love
say
Cinder tracks.
your
Mhm.
track's really nice.
Then yeah, they
Yeah.
redid it with a really nice track.
Yeah.
So did Minders. It's all brand new. Like I think they did it like 4 years ago.
Did you guys ever see the cost on that? So when Dundee did theirs, it was just like 5-6 years ago. Millions of dollars into these tracks. It's insane.
I'd
Yeah.
rather have my teacher paid a little bit more, to be honest.
Yeah, I see where we should like put money into sports, but at the same time, I agree with you, Frankie. It's like when you have something that's sufficient, put some money into it,
Mhm.
upkeep, but at the same time, it's like, hey, maybe, or well, we have a big thing with paying our superintendents
Mm-hmm.
outrageous amount of money,
For not much.
and
you
then
know what I mean?
and then paying our educators like crumbs.
Just
So,
a
yeah.
mini government.
You know,
in
there's a
itself.
reason for that.
No.
It's because of all the state and federal regulations. They have to have all these administrators to make sure they're checking all the boxes. Like the money isn't even going toward instruction. The money is going toward paying administrators to make sure that they've got the right curriculum that complies with No Child Left Behind and all these other things. It's insane the amount
They
of money.
leave a lot of children behind.
Oh, they leave so it's definitely got wait, I'm about to be guilty of saying I think it's gotten worse.
I
think it's gotten worse.
I don't know what I can only compare my own experience, but it doesn't. There's a lot of kids that it's not working for.
Mhm.
I was one of them. I could have had it much worse. Didn't work out for me. It wasn't, I had some really good teachers, some bad ones. It's not even about the teachers. It's just about the whole system.
Absolutely. I think the teachers are doing the best that they can, and
Yeah.
obviously there's more professional development that could be done,
Mhm.
but they have to fit. Like we've taken away their ability to just teach,
Yeah.
and forced different rules that they have to, all these different guidelines that they have to meet to where they're just trying to get people to pass the test.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to do what they can in between to,
Mhm.
help kids.
I remember getting kicked out of music. Like I played the trombone, even though I wanted to play the saxophone.
Me too.
And
Me too.
they were like, here, try the saxophone.
like, "Here,
and I
take
blew
this
into it
instead."
once, and they were like, no, you're gonna play trombone. I'm like,
Wow.
you didn't even give me a chance.
Yeah.
But they kicked me out like 2 weeks in because I didn't do my math homework or something. And first off, I got ODD, so that made me do less math work. I was like, you're gonna punish me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna punish it myself even worse. You know what I mean? So now it's funny to look back on because I make more money on music than I do math. And it's weird because as an adult, I like math and history and English and writing and learning. But I feel like it wasn't portrayed to me very well in school. You know what I mean? Because it's like learning a language, they teach it wrong. That's why everyone went to 4 years of French and Spanish or Italian or German, and nobody speaks
Can't
French.
speak
It's-
it. Right. Yeah.
I was part of this new teaching of French I went to Southern Cayuga too, across the lake. And we were guinea pigs, they said, for a new system of teaching a language. I learned so much in my first year of French.
Really?
Is it like Rosetta Stone or something?
I don't know what they called it. I was in 7th grade. And I just remember everything that I do know from French is just from that first year. Moved back to Seneca Falls, they give you words to remember on a sheet.
Yeah.
Not the way.
I forgot French in French class, which is very strange. But the same goes with
Forgot
any of it,
French in French class.
Yeah.
I think speaking it, we have a Spanish teacher from Venezuela in Dundee my last 2 years, and it was the same thing. Everything she did was like when you were in class, she spoke Spanish. Like there was no this word. She's like, all of you know how to read and write Spanish. It's not tough. That's simple. It was like she walked in and told us that. She's like, you're gonna need to have conversations to pass. And that our final test was to be able to have a 10-minute conversation with her, and she didn't expect a lot, but to be able to translate and to be able to talk back, and I think it helped everyone. So that's makes sense, Frankie.
Frankie, I don't want to get through this without asking you the question
Ask away.
that originally made me want to talk to you on the podcast.
Oh geez, what is it?
Ready.
And this
Sounds spicy.
Well, I wish it was.
Oh.
I don't know anybody in the world. Well, just because I don't know that many people, but I don't know anybody that knows more about ADHD than you.
I feel like
You're
the information, a lot of it, I just learned from algorithms putting it in front of my face. So like TikTok,
yeah,
there's a lot of doctors and psychiatrists on there. Some of them are faking it, but you can tell the real ones. They're like actual PhDs. So it gets thrown at me. So like I'm learning new stuff about it all the time. And I'm like, oh, that's why that's like that. That really makes sense. I didn't even, in school, they told me I had ADHD. I recognized looking back, nobody knew what that really was, probably. They were just like, oh, that's the kid with ADHD. Sit down and quit being so hyper and trying to fidget with stuff. I didn't know it was a actual chemical imbalance. I just thought it meant you were hyper, right? You're low on dopamine. That's what it is. Your dopamine system doesn't work the same as everyone else. So with that, you need stimulus to bring it back up, or to be normal or focused. So it would have worked if we were in tribes and like you wake up every day and you're like just in the woods and you have to be aware and you have so much stimulus and you're just like, I feel like it's where we're supposed to be, but doesn't work with an institutionalized setting. Can't work in a factory and be happy with ADHD. You know what I mean?
It doesn't sound it. That's crazy. I didn't know it was a dopamine
Nobody
level.
does.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think my teachers
interesting.
knew. I don't think superintendents know. I don't think parents know, and I don't think the kids with it know.
And we have a serious problem with this. Our mental health in this county and even in the state, so our funding is so bad. Our programs, they're dying. I mean,
isn't it like like we have the 7 county areas, like some of the worst with that?
Oh yeah, it's really Ontario County is actually pretty good. They have a pretty good facility, but the rest are. I mean, seriously, the mental health is. I see it at the county all the time. We're always talking about like we don't even have a mental health program in Yates County. They got rid of it out of the hospital, the 3rd floor that was there.
Right.
Prisons make more money.
Yeah,
true.
it's
Did you have any more specific questions on it? I didn't mean to cut you.
No. Go ahead. So
yeah, I mean, I guess we talked about that. It kind of made things interesting for you with learning music.
Yeah, I think a lot of people with like it's like neuroatypical behavior. People have that going on. Usually end up doing arts and stuff and something stimulating, like being a sprinter or something. So when you're low on dopamine, your brain needs something. So you can figure out ways to like learning 7 different languages, but not following through with finishing it. You know what I mean? So you're like, yeah, I'm doing something new. My brain's stimulated. I'm good. But then if it becomes normal, you're not getting any stimulus out of it again. Your brain prefers another chemical at least. So lactic acid from sprinting, from lifting weights. A lot of bodybuilders, you know what I mean? A lot of really good athletes are just people who are neuroatypical, which is
interesting.
Neurodivergent, that's the term.
Neurodivergent. I always thought it'd be interesting to have you teach music for kids with ADHD.
I think they fall into it naturally.
But just to have I just think that just having somebody that understands it a little bit as an influence,
and
I think that'd be cool.
I feel like I know a lot of facts about it, and
I know you're not like a doctor or anything like that, but it's
Frankie.
just sometimes just having lived through it is even better.
I feel like a doctor without it can't understand it as well as someone with it, but it's nice to know why things are a certain way. Like I don't know if it helps it at all, but it's nice to know chemically for like my own head. Like, why does this feel like this? Why did school not work for me? Why do I not want to do what everyone wants me to do? You know what I mean? And I'm not alone. There's a bunch of people with it. You know, it's interesting. It's very interesting. But again, like TikTok, it's a lot of it's just dumb. You know what I mean? Just fine entertainment, but it's also good in a way of there's a lot of information on there too. Like we were saying, like we're more informed with stuff like that. You are. So the algorithm, if you just like titty videos, you know what I mean? That's all you're gonna get.
That's a lot of my buddies.
Yeah.
They're like, "What are you watching? TikTok?" Like,
Why is this all I
TikTok-
see
yeah.
on here?
What kind of TikTok's that,
Right.
dude?
So what I get is I get a bunch of titty videos, and then also psychology videos, and then like random science stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's funny to say that I learned so much from something like TikTok, you know,
Right.
but I really did. Not just about ADHD, but it's cool. I think it's useful, and you got to know who's faking it too.
The dopamine part. Now because I kind of correlated always the kids I remember, the teachers, and they would always talk about having ADD medicine. A lot of those kids ended up going to different vices, drugs, alcohol, and it's like maybe it's the
rock and roll.
the dope, and the dopamine makes sense because seriously, I know that's a huge part of it.
It
you
is.
know? So
There's a lot of things that could cause low dopamine. Trauma. When you have PTSD, the reason that you are so depressed, what causes the depression from it, or low dopamine in general, is when you're sick. Like, let's say you have the flu, your immune system shuts off your dopamine production so that your body is forced to heal. It's like chill. It's like if you're low on dopamine, you're going to lay down, and your body knows that. When you go through trauma, your brain registers it as a wound, literally. So your immune system shuts off your dopamine.
Wow.
That's why people are depressed when they go through stuff. It's literally just a lack of dopamine. So
Frankie, man,
Yeah,
you got some
I
knowledge
know.
on this stuff. I've
Dude.
never heard any of this stuff before. That's wild.
blows the mind. So it's
yeah.
crazy. Anybody want a beer?
Love beer.
I'd have a beer.
Love a beer. Ooh,
But yeah,
beer.
it causes a lot of people resort to addiction.
Thanks, man.
Of
Yeah, if
anything.
you're handing them out, I'll take one, Frankie.
Lauren
Don't
Tide
want to
special.
drink all your beer, but
No, that's what it's here for.
Yeah.
Today's podcast brought to you by
look at Dan. Dan, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Hey, book 'em, Dano.
TikTok is the ideal platform for ADHD.
So
I actually don't use it that much. I went through a phase where I would like scroll for like an hour, but I didn't even have to like quit it. The same reason that ADHD makes you really love a language and then get bored with it, or learn piano and then not take it too far. I don't get addicted to things for too long, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Like even like anything. Like I was smoking vapes, nicotine vapes, and I'm just like bored with it now. It's just weird.
But you're pretty high energy, and people usually think ADD is high energy, but I found out it's not always that. It's just like sometimes you can't focus.
There's different types too.
So you're pretty high energy. So I think people who aren't high energy and have ADD, maybe it's a little different. You know, they're like, probably different things. I mean, what's the difference between the ADD and ADHD?
ADD is the broad term.
Okay.
ADD is a specific, or ADHD is a specific subgenre of it. We'll say.
Okay.
Just put the word hyper in it. Mine's on the outside. Basically, you can see it sometimes. I'm like somewhere in the middle. You know, I'm not always just a hyper bastard, but it's just typically I am.
I've never seen you hyper.
No,
You're
not hyper.
always-
just,
you're always
just doing
pretty
something.
chill.
I have to be doing something though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm sitting if I'm just sitting there alone or something, I'm not having a good time. So that's why I've always fell into like working a lot or doing stuff at all times. Just got to do stuff.
How's that affect your sleep?
Not well. I don't sleep much.
That's what I was
Yeah.
wondering. Because if you like, it must be hard to just like shut it off and just
It is.
go to bed.
I literally have
Yeah.
to meditate to sleep, and stuff like that's helped too.
Wow.
You do the headspace.
I've done that. It helps.
Yeah.
It helps sometimes.
Do
I
you li-
like sleep.
Do you like
though.
that? You like sleep?
Yeah, I go through like weird phases, like a few months at a time. Like I'll be able to sleep forever, like no problem. And then the next few months, I got like I just slept like 2 hours last night.
Yeah.
But that's probably booze.
You were a little busy last night.
Yeah,
Booze does.
But I
make
didn't
it a
have to
little
wake
tough.
up. I just woke up and couldn't go back to sleep too. But it's alcohol helps you fall asleep and not stay asleep. So
Were
that's
you
good.
Fair.
you stayed at the Laurentide?
Yep,
Those-
they put me up in the carriage house.
There you go.
Yeah.
How nice is that up there?
Awesome,
Fucking
dude.
It's
beautiful.
I
freaking
wanna live there.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to want a big house. I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that. That's so cool.
That is cool.
They did a really good job on that.
They're decorating. We're like plugging Marla and Tracy so hard
All
but,
morning.
They're
No, I'm literally funded by them to be up here right now. So
when you
sponsored
see
by.
how they decorate and the food they cook and how they're just like I
Mhm.
don't know whose brain works like that. I look at stuff and
Yeah.
I'm like I don't think any B&B I had would look like that.
Yeah,
So
I've been to a lot of really cool Airbnbs though.
Yeah.
It's been such a nice thing that's like kind of grown. There's some bad sides to it
Do you-
too now.
Do you stay in them
Yeah, on
when you
the
tour
road.
a lot? Yeah.
On the road for sure. While I was touring hard, like with my old bands and stuff, that wasn't really a thing though.
Mhm.
And also we were like I was a child, so I was so broke we couldn't afford it. We slept in McDonald's parking lots a lot, you know what I mean?
Jesus.
And
I've
we
been
couldn't
there.
we couldn't run
At
the
17.
yeah, we couldn't run the van. We bought a nice van.
Yeah.
We all split the bill on it, but we couldn't like afford to run the van while we're sleeping in it. So if we're in Minnesota and it's like freezing outside, literally, we're just in there freezing. You know what I mean? There's been some rough nights. Tour sounds glamorous. Parts of it is, but man, it's had some rough times out there. But those are my favorite times looking back. Like I remember the tough stuff as much as the good stuff, which is just fun, man.
I don't know if
It's-
it makes you feel better, but I've never thought of rock and roll touring as a good time. So
it's-
like I've always thought like
it's brutal.
that
hard work.
has to be a hectic life. Like,
Future tours, I plan
that's
to
crazy.
I
Just
really plan to
driving.
take care of myself a little better on the road.
Like there's nowhere to settle down. Like it
No.
feels like you guys are like constantly going.
Perfect for my head.
Yeah.
You definitely change on the road.
Yeah.
2 weeks, you don't change much. You can come back home and things are a little normal. But every time I've been gone for 2 weeks or longer on like any trip, any tour, when I come back home, people like don't recognize me, and I don't like you have to adjust back home. It feels like we're in a different world. You kind of just get a little primal in a way, which is strange. Your brain completely rewires itself.
Live simple.
It's weird, man.
It's
And you
weird.
get good. The only way to really be a good band, in my experience, is tour. You get so tight. You are just living it. There's nothing else to worry about except gas money and playing the show. Maybe grabbing some titty here and there.
You got it. Yeah.
TikTok.
With consent.
With consent, definitely consent.
Ladies.
We're all about the consent.
That's like Thoreau, except for maybe the opposite, but the same.
Mm.
So I watched.
Daniel says he'd love a beer.
Yeah,
It's too
Dan.
bad.
So Dan is he helps Larry Sharp. Do you know Larry Sharp? You heard of him?
Sounds very familiar.
He's a libertarian governor candidate. He was on the show. So
Dan is the chair of the Dutchess County Libertarian Party.
yeah,
Where's Dutchess County?
It's down closer to the city.
yeah, I'm not sure.
A little more popular.
It's down that direction.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's all that much more populated. Dan can maybe chime in. But
he got to watch the show live. He's one of the only people that ever stood and watched the show without watching on that.
you missed.
So.
We had Nick was a studio audience the other day.
Oh,
we
was
were
he?
over at the
Oh,
Burnt
cool.
Rose.
So we
yeah.
had another. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
very cool. Yeah, No, it's awesome.
I've never watched. I've watched a lot of podcasts. I never watch it when it's live ever. I don't know why. I just never like catch it in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get some that are live, and we get some people. We like the one that we did the other week. We had, I don't know, we probably had, I don't know how many we had live, but we had a couple thousand after the fact.
Wow.
Just that we're watching it recorded. It's like, that's pretty cool.
So now that you're in Texas with the Joe Rogan podcast, Spotify stuff, is that
It's 5 hours away from me.
Is
and I
that-
feel the energy?
is that talked about a lot down there?
Can you really?
I haven't really met anyone who's actually upset
I didn't know
about
if it was a big
Do
deal.
they care
or
at
not.
all?
Even up here. It's in the news. I haven't met one person that actually cares.
Do you think it's a fake problem?
Yeah, I think it's like I think it's a pretty common theory, but my theory is nobody watches the news anymore that much.
Mhm.
Everyone got really upset, even if you aren't like fake news media, you know what I mean? Even if you're not that, you still aren't having a good time watching the news.
No.
And it's clear that it's almost specifically for profit. Everything's a bombshell, you know what I mean? Everything. And we don't like hear world news like we
Dopamine.
should. Yeah.
Dopamine.
They play
That's
on
right.
it for sure.
Yep.
That algorithm. Because you'll click on it.
Like, how can we piss people
That's how
off?
clickbait works.
How can we make people scared?
But Rogan is the biggest platform in the world.
Mhm.
You know?
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. And it was accidental,
Yeah.
you know. And that's why it's like they're just dudes talking shit in the micro, just dudes being guys being dudes. You know what I mean? That was a joke to a funny video I saw. A reference. But it's like if you are failing and you see someone doing way better and not having any rules, and you're a large corporation, what are you going to try to do?
I didn't think of it like that.
At least
Take 'em
you know,
down.
at least create the controversy,
Mhm.
because
Make yourself relevant.
attach yourself to the biggest thing. Even I don't think that he's ever going to get canceled. You know what I mean?
No.
He makes too much money for people. You know,
The only thing that could get him canceled is the thing that he did with Spotify, which up until he signed that deal with Spotify, it was impossible to cancel him. Oh, that's interesting.
it wasn't the only one.
Up until then, it was impossible to cancel him. Now he's got this deal with Spotify that, you know, they could do something with the deal, but I don't think that they ever would. Why would you get rid of somebody that's getting you 11 million listeners per episode?
If they paid him $100 million,
Yeah, well, we don't know.
they're making more.
But
Well,
we
that's
know
what
it's
they
a lot
paid
of
him.
money.
That was the contract.
That was the contract.
For sure. I
Yeah,
thought
$100
that
million.
was
100 million.
Yeah, it was
That's a
100
lot of
million.
money. It's a lot
Yeah.
of fucking
Now,
money.
did they buy all of his intellectual properties?
No, that he's
No.
been waiting. People have tried to buy him so many times
So
before.
he still owns his own
He's
properties.
100%.
Okay.
He still makes 100%, calls 100% of the shots and everything.
Okay.
They just bought him for the platform.
Just to be exclusive.
Now, Rumble, the right wing platform there, offered him $100 million
They probably wanted
to
own him.
leave Spotify. And it's just like, and now you're sitting there. But here's
Nah,
the thing.
He's
What,
not even right wing.
He's
I
Right.
mean, he might lean more right.
no,
but
he leans left.
Yeah.
He calls himself a liberal.
he's
Yeah.
liberals good.
Yeah.
Um,
So he's not, but they
Look
just
up the
offered it to
definition,
him and
you know what I
said,
mean?
"We're not gonna shut off any of your shows," is what they said.
Mhm.
Like, you can say whatever the hell you want, talk about what you want, we don't care. And but here's the thing: how do you get out of a contract with Spotify like that? Who knows
you
if
don't.
you
He
can?
probably doesn't want to.
Yeah.
He's probably tight with the owners. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But you know, it's funny how things get such a name and then you just can't use a word anymore. I would call myself liberal, but not like far left or far right or whatever. Liberal just means you're open to new ideas, or progressive liberal or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just open to new ideas of
Terms that have
making
been
things better.
hijacked.
Yeah.
They've been hijacked by extremists.
Now it's like an insult to call someone a liberal. I'm
Mhm.
like,
Is it?
Oh,
I
it has
didn't know
it has
that.
been for decades.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know people
Yeah.
took
Oh, yeah.
offense to that. So
yeah, it's like,
okay.
do you actually have a problem with like change? Maybe, you know, some people don't want to change, but
They just like labels. They're trying to
Yeah.
they use it as a label, as a way to tell people that they're different.
yeah, tribalism is pretty fierce. It's a
Yes.
fierce thing.
Big time.
I think just
Cognitive
you want
bias.
most people to just be, I don't care where you sit politically. I just want you to be a decent person and be able to have a conversation. That's what, like, Phil and I are actually pretty far away on a lot of things.
Mhm.
And you probably wouldn't even know it because like we just kind of both listen to each other's opinion and just like, oh,
That's how it should be.
he's changed my mind.
Mhm.
You can change my mind.
Yeah.
If you have a good argument, I'll sit there and be like, well, shit, that makes sense.
That's the
Like,
thing.
I mean,
That's the
why
thing.
can't you
Argument.
do it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People argue instead of listen to each other.
Yeah.
Opposing views is important for progress, I think.
Mhm.
If everyone thought the same, nothing would get better. You know what I mean? We'd still be doing
True.
the same thing over and over.
100%.
You need clashing to make new.
Yeah, that's why I
Even
can't.
like war. You know what I mean? Think about how much technology came from war.
A lot.
Oh yeah, so much.
War causes progression. So think about
Microwaves.
just ideas.
Yeah.
We were like, I don't know. We got to be able to cook a potato in 3 minutes. It takes Russia 45.
Hey, I always talk about A1 sauce. A1 sauce was made during the Civil War.
That's insane.
So if you thank
They
God.
didn't even bother to stop. They're like, nope.
They're like, listen, people are fighting. We need steak sauce. And
So was WD-40.
was it really?
Yeah.
Shit,
It was
I didn't know
it
that.
was
That's
initially
cool.
a lubricant for specifically designed for torpedoes and submarines.
What?
Yeah.
Shit,
Original purpose.
Frankie, I need to wait. Was that on TikTok too?
No.
I was like, I mean, I need to download TikTok.
No.
Like, what the hell? I do? Every
No.
time my girlfriend's watching TikTok, it's stupid ass videos. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
what
the
is
thing.
The algorithm.
this?
You know,
What is
they have
this?
a really good algorithm. So like Instagram and Facebook will just put like dumb stuff in front of your face, whether you like it or not. If you have a TikTok, it depends on what you like. They're not going to put stuff on there that you didn't want to see. It'll learn you. Like when you first download it, it'll just be like a bunch of stuff that doesn't relate to you at all. But you'll like this or you like that. And then it'll just be like, oh, here's more of that.
Oh, I got you. I
Yeah.
know what you want. I'll give it to
Yeah,
you.
but
There you go.
it's good and bad, you know.
Yeah.
It just draws you in.
You know what?
Keeps you locked in.
What
But
really?
I prefer it.
How long are TikTok videos usually? They're short,
They
right?
used to be like 30 seconds, then they were a minute, and then they were like now they're up to 3 minutes now.
Oh.
Huh.
You know what's really annoying about them is sometimes my girlfriend will like walk away from her phone and they just automatically
Keep
replay.
going.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
The
So
same video.
I'll hear the same thing like 5 times and I'll be like, "Where's that phone? I'm going to destroy it
I've
at
fallen
any
asleep.
moment." No, you know what I'm talking about, Phil?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep with it in my hand, giving
Yeah.
someone like,
You wake up and it's like, what the fuck?
I gave this guy like 1,000 views just now.
30 seconds at a time.
Good for him.
So when it first came out, everyone said don't download it because it's the Chinese program and they're going to, I don't know, I can't remember the exact words, but they were going to use it against us.
Yeah, they did.
For
They
spying.
gathered data on us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But so does our government.
It died so fast
Big time.
because it was so addicting that
Yeah.
now you don't hear about that anymore. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay."
Nobody
And
cares.
other companies were trying to compete against it and
Mhm.
make one for the United States. Never happened.
Facebook.
Hey, did you see
Yeah.
Meta.
see what the news that came out about the CIA recently?
No, there's a lot coming on all the time.
So
Tell me.
there is a news story this week that they've been misusing an executive order signed by Reagan in 1981 to gather bulk data on American citizens.
Yeah.
Like for the past 35 years,
When
for
did
the past
this
40
happen?
years. It's been happening for the past 40
No,
years.
I mean, when did they come out about?
Came out this week.
This week.
Yeah.
Wow.
I should be really upset about that, but I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised. You can't
It's
be
like,
surprised.
I'm just like, oh, that makes sense, you know, and that's not a good thing.
And nobody knew about it. Like the Congress didn't know about it. It was like a shadow program against our own citizens.
We tarred and feathered people for some tea tax one time. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, for whiskey tax.
Yeah, for whiskey tax.
For whiskey tax,
Whiskey
we'll tar
rebellion.
and feather the shit out of you for whiskey tax.
But something like that happens, and we're so numb to it that like we didn't even care that that UFOs were confirmed by the. We're like,
That's what
you
I
know,
was about to say. That's the only thing
No
I've
one-
seen pop up that I was like, shit, I knew it. Like when they
There's
came out with
crazy
the
I was
stuff.
like, what
all
are they
the time.
trying to cover up now?
Yeah.
Do you know
Like
this-
it wasn't even a blip.
At the same time that they released that information, you can go to the Freedom of Information Act page and like look at all these documents. That's where you find it.
Oh.
They also released documents on astral projection and their studies on like mind control.
Astral projection.
Astral projection.
Really?
I don't know enough about it to explain it.
I don't know what astral
It's
projection
like
is.
outer body experiences.
Out of body experiences,
Yeah.
using your brain to connect with things like someone in a different room could feel something that the person they can't see is feeling. You know what
Wow.
I mean?
Interesting. I mean, people talk about it a lot. Usually, it's like a dying thing. You know, it's like people
Yeah.
that are on the edge of death feel like they're watching it happen from.
The weird thing is how much confirmation they had about some of it. So it's not that they just studied it, but there was stuff that they found true about it. So it's not all baloney, or at least their studies say it's not. There was more to it than that too. That there's just a bunch. There's so much crazy stuff released that we don't care. You know what I mean?
I cared
I didn't
about
really
the
go
UFOs.
down the. I didn't
man.
really go down the mind control path. I just think it's interesting that they studied it and found that some of it was true,
Have
according to them.
Have you
Yeah,
seen those?
You know what I mean?
Those people that get
Well, think about walking in a room. A lot of people are empathetic, mostly people with trauma, because they need to read a room before they walk into it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If you got bad parents, you got to know when you're in trouble. You know what I mean? So empathy is just feeling someone's energy before you know what's going on. It's not even just about facial expression or micro expressions. You feel it, you know, and it's usually right. I feel like I can read a room pretty well. You know what I mean? And that's what's the difference between that and that. You know what I mean? There isn't one, I don't think.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Stuff I never think about.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, I think about such weird stuff.
I understand what you mean.
Talking to me at a bar is very strange.
And I notice a lot of people don't have this nowadays. Is you can tell when you're talking to somebody what you're saying is making them uncomfortable or they're enjoying it.
Mhm.
And you know, that's something I really pick up on. It's like, you know, I try to body movement,
I
face
wish more
movement,
people would do that.
and so I know, like, hey,
Pay attention to whether they're pissing somebody off.
yeah, but it's just, and it's more to it. There's more. You can really tell when you're like, when things are going right and going wrong, and it's just like, hey, okay, you know, like, oh
yeah,
I'll stop back. I'm sorry, I
Or
didn't
if
mean
someone's
to
just-
didn't mean to do that. But there's a lot of people that they just either they don't care, or they're oblivious to how they make other people feel, and it's
you ever just feel like
interesting.
someone's not actually conscious,
sometimes
like self-aware?
Yeah.
They're just there like a CPU.
yeah.
Automatons.
There's a
Automatons.
Automatons.
We're going down some paths.
there's
here.
a fun
Yeah.
fun theory that I learned about on TikTok recently, about consciousness and how you could be the only conscious person in, maybe not in the universe, but here. You know what I mean? Everyone else could
And
be not
everything else
conscious.
is just
And what they say is,
automatons.
how they test it is like, have a conversation with someone, ask them to prove that they're conscious in the same way that you are. They can't, you know. Doesn't mean that you're the only one, but maybe there's only like 400,000 people that are truly conscious, and the rest are just not free willing it the same. You know what I mean?
So conscious, as in
Independent thinking,
Okay.
critical thinking,
actually
free will.
like making decisions.
Yeah,
gotcha.
knowing when someone's uncomfortable when you're talking to them.
Yeah, not many people know that. How many guys have you seen in a
everyone's
bar
definition is
just
different.
like going on girls, and you can read from, you're sitting way back, and you can be like, that girl is super uncomfortable.
She
I don't
is
know
not
how many
like
times
that.
how many times I've been a fake boyfriend for a girl and been like, hey, how you doing? And just like pull them out of situations, because like it's mostly men. I don't really see it with women, and
Mhm.
maybe I'm
I
going
do.
to get labeled as
I
sexist.
definitely do.
You think so?
Oh my
Yeah?
God,
Really? Okay.
I feel like I get sexually harassed like blatantly by women all the time since I was first touring.
And you're against it?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
Sometimes,
it's not
yeah.
cool. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, obviously,
You don't like
I feel
being
like if two
objectified,
hot people do it to each other, or two people that find each other attractive,
right?
sexualizing each other is cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Consent.
Consent.
But like, I remember being on the road and it happens
When,
even
when women do it, there's no filter.
There's no
like
filter.
there's no like stigma that
yeah,
like if they do that, like it's just assumed that the guy's into it.
yeah. My
know?
ass got grabbed like 6 times last night, for example.
What?
I don't actually care that much. You know what I mean?
I should have learned how to sing, Frankie. I didn't know you get free ass grabs if you can
Most
sing.
Free ass grabs.
Most of the time, it's not the person you want to grab.
Oh.
It's not. It's not.
Girls also pull my hair a lot. They're like,
Okay.
or like, just come up and just touch me all the time. You know, it's I don't do that to girls.
No, because you'd be arrested.
No. Well, nobody should do that until you're friends with someone. You shouldn't touch someone. You know
No.
what I mean?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I used to get a lot of inappropriate interactions from women when I was wearing a kilt more often. They just.
I'm not trying to be a one-upper, but you guys should be bartending for bachelorette parties. If you want to talk
I'm sure
about
Frankie
like
does.
I played music for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So like that a bachelorette party, I tell people all the time. Everyone's always like, "Oh, the bachelor parties are assholes."
They
I'm like,
really get wild.
bachelor parties are pretty easy. Bachelorette parties, dude, they're coming in. They have penis everything. They're asking for your underwear. They're asking
Yeah.
for like, I'm not kidding.
Oh,
It's
they
like,
got
it's like-
crazy scavenger hunts.
my friend Gage that owns Himrod Eagle there, like they owned a winery, and I don't know how many times girls would be like, "Hey, take your shirts off. You know what? Let us see your abs." I'm like, I'm fat. You can see his abs, but like,
No,
I mean,
girls like that.
it's
dad
like,
bod.
and it's like, it's crazy. It was nuts. And
Honestly, I think girls like a little dad bod more than they like abs.
yeah,
I think dudes like abs.
abs don't keep you warm, so everyone knows
Oh.
that.
Dudes like, yeah, there, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Dudes
it's the
like
male
abs.
image.
It's like women put on the makeup for each other.
Yeah.
So have you ever had a point where you've had to actually like remove yourself from a
Yeah.
many times? Like
Oh,
it's that bad. Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's still different. Like, I think the reason it's so bad with like it's more focused on men being shitty to girls, right?
Right.
Because
So we're
we have
stronger.
bigger bone structure
Yeah.
and we have testosterone. And if
Right.
someone's a terrible person, they can do something that will actually harm you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it doesn't happen on the way around, but like most of the girls that grab me, I could just
Stiff arm.
you know,
Frankie's like, I'm gonna get put on a list, but
Yeah.
you know,
You know,
You're not gonna be able to fly back to
No,
Dallas.
dude, I'll just say I could knock them out. No, but obviously that makes me
You don't
way
feel
less.
unsafe,
You know, I don't feel unsafe, just
Yeah.
annoyed.
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get that there is a strong difference there,
Absolutely.
but not always. Not always. Like early on the road, like old Cougars and stuff. Man, I was in a '80s glam band. You know what I mean? I was 17. I definitely
God.
got, like
80s glam.
I remember we were taking pictures after a show in Raleigh, North Carolina. And
Raleigh's
or
a good
South
place.
Carolina?
I
Is it
love
South
Raleigh,
or
North
is it North?
Carolina.
It's North.
Raleigh's North Carolina.
North.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always confuse the two. They're like the same thing. One's just a little.
Brewery capital, man. That place
Yeah.
has so many beers.
We're taking pictures of show. They're like, that's you do. And in the middle, they were so drunk and they were already wild, but like I can handle wild. I'm wild too. You know what I mean? I entertain people when they're in that mood. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what I do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I kind of like the that factor. I like getting like weird. I like it when people get weird. And it's something that stuck with, I think, all of us when we took that one picture. We were with like 4 old reliving their dream.
I love how he's trying to PC
Yeah.
it. He's like, I don't want to go there.
You're
Yeah.
fucking kids, and they're like,
I was a child, literally.
yeah,
And
they're not, and they're
before,
not kids.
They're like 3, 2, and on right before she said 1, the person taking the picture, one of the people next to my guitarist, one of the ladies. You ever watch Lord of the Rings?
Oh yeah.
You know the Orakai?
Yeah.
When he's like, man flesh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. This girl screams, can I swear on this?
Yeah.
She goes, grab his cock. And then just literally grabbed my guitarist's cock
Jesus Christ.
on like right for the picture, like fast. screamed it like an Orakai leader. You know what I mean? So like,
oh my god.
at what point is
All right,
that?
Frankie.
That's
you know,
assault.
I got
that's
you.
That's assault.
like straight up assault, and he was not into it. You know what I mean? So that really
and they got
stuck with us.
photographic evidence.
Yeah, of assault of a minor.
And how old
but
was it? Was he like
Jesus.
17 as well?
No, he wasn't a minor at
Oh.
that point, but I definitely probably
That's wild, man.
could have got some people in trouble.
That's wild.
Um,
Yeah, there's having fun, and then there's having fun at other people's expense. And
Yeah.
some people
A
take
little
it
bit
little
of
too
that's
far.
okay,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like joking on someone, but like you were saying, touching people you don't know is a little.
Don't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, a little-
Just don't do it.
yeah.
unless you're paying them, don't touch.
No,
them.
you still don't get to touch
No, not unless they ask you to.
Well, in some places, yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's how it goes. Like you're like you have an understanding. Most people have an understanding. Like, come on, stop it. Just
Hmm.
yeah, you can tell when someone's into you when they're not.
You can test the waters.
You know,
I literally will test water. I got like cute ways of testing waters, how comfortable someone is with me.
Yeah.
You got to read them.
Gotta read 'em.
Conversation.
I
You don't just start out with an ass grab. You know what I mean?
no.
You know,
You don't lead off with that.
I'll poke him on the shoulder and just walk away. You know what I mean?
They'll be like, dude, this guy keeps poking me on the
No,
shoulder.
just
It's
once.
really strange.
No,
So,
I leave the mystery.
leave the
You know what I mean?
mystery.
Like, I read the room. You got to if they want to interact after that,
They'll come
then
find
they
you.
definitely do. You know what I mean?
So
Don't keep bugging them.
How about that?
Don't keep
I'm
bugging
gonna
them.
lose my
That's
run
brilliant.
for presidency with this one. So there's this famous strip club in Niagara Falls called Sundowners, and they have pictures of all like Mike Tyson and Robin Williams and all these people were there. And you walk to the door and you pay to like go in, and the guy's like, "All right, you can touch, you just can't bite." And I was like,
Can't bite.
do a lot of people bite the strippers?
Well, that's
Like-
boring.
like, is this I don't know if it's anywhere I want to be if people are biting strippers. Is it like a?
Was that even like that was like a real
Bite?
rule? That wasn't even just
Was it
like,
because they had a picture of Mike Tyson? Did Mike Tyson
I
bite
don't
one of
know.
their ears off
Guys,
or something?
and I'm not kidding. The guy was dead serious. My buddy Matt that was on here, that's in the Air Force, was with me. He will tell you the story, and he's like, "Do people bite them?" I was like, "Well, just don't bite them." I don't know. Like, it
they
was strange.
made that rule for
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
And
didn't follow the
I don't know
rule,
if it was
imagine.
before or after.
Definitely after. You don't tell Mike Tyson what to do. Mike Tyson tells
Strange.
you what to do.
It's pretty
With
interesting.
his giant weed farm.
we
Yeah.
haven't drank on the podcast in
It's been a while.
like a year since the presidential debates.
Yeah.
we got
We took a
trashed.
hiatus after that.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
like,
God.
no more drinking because we were hammered. It was so bad.
Surprised we don't have cigars.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
in here.
Not Jesse's building
Yeah,
anymore.
it's not mine anymore. We can't smoke.
No.
I wish we could have cigars.
No, there's
That'd
a-
be banging.
There's another. The best place to have the podcast would be in the sub basement here. So this is actually a 4-floor building.
Do you think we could get guests to go into the sub basement?
They might. Frankie would go, but
Frankie
others
would go,
wouldn't.
but
I'll definitely go. I'll go anywhere. I'll go anywhere anytime.
Frankie might go. Have you ever been? You're on the road so much. You ever been in a real sketchy situation?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you've been in like a lot where you're like, I think I may get killed
Yeah.
or I may
how many
get
times per
robbed.
week?
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah, no, not always. So like I said, we didn't have money to like get hotels, which even hotels can be very uncomfortable when you even do have a little and
Oh, yeah.
you're in the middle of nowhere, or like Columbus or Ohio, somewhere random.
Chicago.
You walk outside, we have 20 grand of gear in the van. Gear trailers get stolen all the time from musicians. I know several people it's happened to. And that's like less sketchy than stuff we've done. Like you walk outside and there's like 10 drug deals going on and it's just uncomfortable. But that like I kind of like for some reason. I like being in uncomfortable situations. But what we'd end up doing is like staying at people's houses all the time after the show. Strangers.
Oh yeah.
So imagine, sometimes it works out. Picture I'm touring through here as nobody knows me here. I played the show. Marla and Tracy like me. And then they're like, hey, you can just stay in our place. Sometimes it's like that. Most of the time it was like, we're going to go stay at this dude's trailer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was better than freezing to death in the middle of the night most of the time. We met a lot of cool people too. A lot of really good families and stuff. People would just take you in and feed you, and like they'd have like nice houses and just be good people. And I know them 10 years later. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that too. But I remember sometimes one story sticks out for sure.
I'm like wide-eyed. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Because I don't even like staying in Airbnbs that other people are staying in the house. So it's like, to me, this is nuts. So.
It's weird looking back because it feels like I just watched it in a movie or something. But it's weird to think that I actually, memories are strange. Anyway, Warsaw, Missouri. That's where I was.
All right.
It's a good start, right?
Warsaw, Missouri.
It's a good start, right?
Okay.
We played the show. It was a filler show to get to Colorado. It was like a stop during the week. It was like a Wednesday or something. We showed up to this place. We booked. Didn't know what it was like. We booked all our own shows. We didn't know what the venue was like. We didn't know where we were going. We just tried to. We get what we could. You know what I mean? We didn't have an agency for that or anything. And we show up to this venue. It's a smoking venue. Looks like every other place when we walk up, except in the middle of nowhere. You know, it is straight up middle of nowhere.
Is the
Warsaw,
Dewdrop Inn?
Missouri. What?
Is the Dewdrop Inn?
Yeah. It's crazy. But Sean says if anyone grabs my cock, I'd end up in cuffs. That's funny.
And not in a good way.
Not in a good way. I'll kind of slim the story down a little bit. Showed up, they had no sound system. We needed to get paid anyways. They said they'd have a PA system. There was no sound. They had one little like amp. These people, I don't mind people having like different cultures. These people were crazy weirdo. Like it was just meth. It was just a bunch of white methed out people smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. You know what I mean? Which sometimes is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe.
Yeah.
Me and my singer played an acoustic set to get paid because we couldn't play a full band show through a small amp that sounded like crap. It was great. It was a weird time, real weird time. We still made $300 because they didn't know the difference.
$300. That was it.
They didn't know.
Yeah. We never
Well,
got paid much.
This is not.
If we were making more, then we wouldn't be sleeping in parking lots. You know what I mean? But get past that, and then we ended up going to the promoter's house. The guy wasn't a promoter at all. It was just like getting the local weird drunk saying, "Hey, you should book this guy," and then that's what happened. But they were all kind of the same person for some reason. The men and females were all the same person.
They all looked automatons we were talking about, right?
They all looked the exact same. There was about 50 people there. And
once you have enough cigarettes, you start to
you all start blending.
Very plump too. There was about 50 people and about 45 teeth all total. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, dude.
So we didn't know where we were going to stay that night. It was really cold out. We went to this guy's house after. You know, we were trashed. We were drunk as skunks. My guitarist didn't drink much though, so he drove us there. He never drinks much, which is cool. At the time, he's not my guitarist now. And we showed up to this guy's house. It's getting far. We're already in the middle of nowhere. It got worse. We drove like 45 minutes. I thought we were going to drive like 10. I didn't sleep for like 36 hours already because we were driving so much and playing so much. And we show up and it's just like, it's like I showed up to a scrapyard that wasn't a scrapyard. It was just someone's yard that had a bunch of scrap and trash in it.
Okay.
The house wasn't terribly dirty or anything on the inside, which was cool. It just smelled like meth or something. And they had 2 kids. His wife was there. She was crazy. He was crazy. Strange situation. I'm okay with that. What got weird is the kid one was like 9, the other one was 12 or something. They had whiskey and tequila and vodka, and I was like, well, I'm here uncomfortable, might as well have a drink. eat this crappy food she made for us. We had enchiladas, worst enchiladas I ever had. They're very white. They're very white. And
Dude.
the kids start drinking
Oh shit.
with us.
Oh,
And I
no.
was like,
At 9 and
Oh,
12.
no.
this is strange. You know what I mean? And I think I was 18, you know, and I was like, this is very strange. This isn't all right. Maybe they'll just have like a few sips and it's funny and goofy, but I didn't care too much. But they got like drunk, like really, really drunk. And they ended up like having a hilarious like looking back, it's funny. The like recalling it because you have to make it funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny. That's
No.
not cool at all.
It's fucking
what I
horrible.
mean? But they were like the kids were just like fighting with each other, like, and it was just like their entertainment. You know what I mean? We quoted a lot still. Like they were trying to like one up each other with the insults, like, well, you're a stupid ass son of a bitch, and then it just escalated each time. You know what I mean?
I'll come at you like a spider monkey.
Exactly. It was literally that. So picture
All
that.
jacked up on Mountain Dew.
It was that, but for real. So
Oh my god.
it was that for real, but
Jesus.
with like real insults and real like that vibe captures it perfectly though. I was trying to figure out a way to like really portray it.
Talladega
That
Nights.
is it.
Fucking Talladega Nights.
The parents were worse though. The kids were just like that. Anyway, it got really bad. I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep now. You know what I mean? And then get out of here as soon as we can.
You always worry what you're gonna wake up to.
Yeah. So I did wake up in the middle of the night. I was asleep I got like 2 hours of sleep that night. I woke up in the middle of the night to watching the dad pulling one of the kids by his leg. He's butt ass naked, throwing up into the bathroom to throw him into the shower to just puke and be alone in the shower.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? I'm like, this is very, I woke up then after like he disappeared. I woke the guys up. I'm like, let's just get out of here. Let's drive to the next place. I'll drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I think I was actually asleep for like 3 hours because there's time where stuff happened after I was asleep. So it was probably like 3 hours. Got out to the van. Everyone else was asleep. We like snuck out of there because they were like, "We'll see you in the morning. We'll make you breakfast."
Yeah. No, you.
We'll make
No,
you breakfast.
No, you
you'll
will
never,
not.
You'll never see me
Yeah.
again. I promise
And it was
you.
very creepily insistent. The vibe was that the whole time. The part that I'm getting to that was creepiest didn't even happen yet. The kids were just another part of the story. We walked out and our tires were slashed. There's no other houses around. There's no other people around. I'm 100% positive that one of the parents slashed our tires. I don't know what was planned. I don't know why. Maybe it was just to keep us around longer. Maybe there wasn't that much behind it. But it was a very not good situation. I'm 18. I'm with old weirdos and meth and drunk kids, literally.
Yeah.
And I'm in Warsaw, Missouri. No one knows where I am.
All your tires were slashed?
2 of them. One.
It wasn't Katura.
It wasn't Churro. If it was Churro, she would have slashed 3 of them.
Yeah. So
Shit. So how'd you get out of there?
um,
Did you just roll off on the rims?
no, the place was a scrapyard, right?
No
No, you're
way.
fucking shitting
Frank.
me.
You found
Dude.
tires that fit the van?
Dude, I found a donut. Not the van. It was our trailer
Oh,
tires.
trailer.
Oh, your
So
trailer.
like that kind of makes sense, right? Like I said, we had a lot of money in the trailer and gear and stuff. These are really poor.
They're trying to get you to
methods.
leave the stuff behind
Maybe. I don't know what
so they could sell it off.
I can only come to theories about what reasoning was behind it,
Oh,
but we could have easily been, like, get out of here now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got your stuff. Just leave. Shotgun
Yeah.
to the face or something.
Yeah.
holy shit.
So, oh man, I grabbed this donut spare rim that it was just laying in the yard. We didn't even have a thing to take the
Like a jack. Oh, like a wrench.
no wrench,
tire
no
wrench.
nothing. I pulled the trailer up onto like something and like so it would lift itself up, right? we were innovating fast.
Oh,
You know?
the A team shows up.
Dude, I was
Dude,
I was like adapting for sure. I felt like a Marine at that point. I was
MacGyver.
in the mode, dude. I was on fire. You know, at that time I was like, the other boys just played instruments
Oh my
and
god.
stuff, but I was like working in a scrap yard and like building Jeeps and stuff. You know what I mean? So like I was a little more hard. You know,
Yeah.
I was poor. You know,
Yeah.
I was poor, so like I knew some shit. I know how to change a tire and even change an engine. But beside the point, slapped that tire on with just scraps I found. Left one of them flat. We had to make it to our next show all the way in Colorado, which was I don't know exactly know how far it was,
a
but
little bit of a
it was
haul.
like 18 hours or something.
Yeah.
We had to drive through Kansas and stuff. We had no money to buy tires, so we spent the rest of our money on 2 tires. Like in the nearest place was 100 miles away, so we drove.
Jesus.
We had to buy new rims and everything.
Yeah.
Because we destroyed the rim. We drove with flat tires on the trailer all the way to 100 miles away to this like tire service place. Made it out of there though, dude.
You lived.
Yeah, and
Dude,
then
Frankie,
we
that's
drove.
a horrible story.
Yeah, we drove
Oh
through.
my god.
We drove all the way to the next show. Made it there just in time for load in, and then played.
Bullshit.
We
dude.
drove
No way.
90.
I would have went home and been like, yeah, we're not cut out for this.
No, we
traveling
went harder. We
But
went harder.
you have 2 choices, right?
Yeah.
One
You could
or
be
the
Jesse
other.
or you could be Frankie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Frankie's like, no, we're still doing this.
No, I mean, looking back, I'm. It's weird. Like I said, the bad times are just as like monumental and how would I say it? I just like the bad times as much as I like the good times. Looking back, like I wouldn't change it. I feel like I learned from it.
Makes the good times
Could have
better.
gone without that one, but it's a good story.
That fuck.
that one
Yeah.
is a little
Yeah.
weird, dude.
Yeah. You guys got any weird, uncomfortable stories?
Yeah, too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you ever almost been like robbed or something, or
Oh yeah.
like in
yeah.
a gunfight? I was in a gunfight
never
once.
Been in a gunfight. Thank
Legit
God.
in a gunfight once.
When I was in
Jesus.
grad school, I had to do research, and I was living in Pennsylvania, but I was having to drive back to Virginia to do the research. It's like 3 or 4 hours away.
Mhm.
So I'd set up with somebody that I thought I knew. That turns out I did not know that well.
Mm.
That was gonna be I was gonna crash at her house for like as long as it took me to get the thing done, to do my research, collect all my data. And I went up to like my favorite brew pub to catch up with my buddies, and then she calls me up. She's like, all right, I'm gonna pick you up. We're gonna go out to this brewery, and we got a house party to go to. And she picks me up like an hour later, and everybody's like, oh no, you shouldn't go there. And I'm like, well, I don't know, like I think she's fine. She's a nice lady. She's actually from Dallas.
Interesting.
She's a nice lady. And so she picked me up. We go to the brewery, and then she's like, okay, we're going to this house party. All right, so we go to this house party, and I walk in the door, goes right into the kitchen. There's like Coke lined up on the counter,
Good start.
and I'm like,
Somebody's dying tonight.
I'll take a drink.
Yeah,
Like I'm not
no
gonna
cocaine.
hammer some Coke. But so they're all ripping Coke off the counter, doing
Mm.
that thing.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
for some people.
I thought that it was like this rare drug, but it turns out like even your teachers are probably doing
Yeah.
that.
Some of them. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure some of them.
Your teacher's only 20.
There's I find out
she's
that there's
depressed.
like a 10-year-old in the house.
Oh yeah.
There's like
cool.
all sorts of weird shit. There's a kid upstairs. There's like everybody's starting to go crazy from the drugs, and I'm
Shameless
just like,
episode.
I'm in the corner like,
What did I get myself in?
and we're in the middle of fucking nowhere too, so I can't just like walk back to town.
Mm.
So I'm trying to figure out how to get back to town. I don't
Uber
know
wasn't a
anybody.
thing.
No, there was nothing. So I waited a while, and then we got back to town, and I went to her house.
Mm.
It's like sleeping on the couch,
And
I
she was doing blow all night,
yeah,
so she was.
not and it yep.
Yeah.
So she's upstairs, like they're all upstairs, and I'm downstairs on the couch. This like there's a pit bull and a Rottweiler. I wake up and they're puppies. Like it's not that big of a deal. They're on me. That like now they're probably, I don't know, maybe they're dead by now. Anyway, they're on me. I'm like, shit, this is not a good. I can't have another night like that. I need a place to crash for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I got out of there about 5 a.m.
Never went back.
Never went back. I slept in my car for 2 weeks
Wow.
That's rough, man.
to finish my research. I slept in the backseat of my car.
So you
for 2
basically went on
weeks.
tour.
I did.
Yeah, he was on tour.
I'll tell you what, the worst hotel I've ever been in. I don't know about you about like hotels, and
It was a red roof for
the
me.
worst. It was actually a motel in Joliet.
Joliet is actually kind of nice now.
It wasn't then. I
No.
got off. I was coming through on my motorcycle,
Yeah.
and I would have kept driving, but it was just pouring rain.
Mhm.
I'm on a motorcycle, and I've got all of my belongings in a backpack, and I'm riding from Minnesota to New York.
Backpack wasn't waterproof, was it?
It was not, and it's just it fried all my electronics. I'm like, I've got no place to go. I pull off the highway. There's this motel, $40 for the night.
Nice.
Should have been a
Classic.
sign.
Yep.
Pulled my motorcycle up onto the sidewalk
Sign, but
there.
no choice. You knew it. You knew what it was.
It was not good,
Yeah.
man. Like the only channel that was on was porn, and it
Yeah.
was actually a DVD that was on like a closed circuit from the front office.
Mm.
I'm like, wow, this is just
You haven't been in
the
a real.
floors are sticky. You can't you don't.
These sheets have never been washed.
No, there was nothing good
A lot
about
of
that
stains.
place. I'll
It's
tell
like
you
people
what.
throw up on the bed on purpose.
A
Yeah,
real
oh, yeah.
sketchy hotel's the one that say, are you just staying for a couple hours, or are you staying?
Oh, you
for a
could get
night?
this place for the hour for sure.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
had that with a girlfriend that went to a place, and they're like,
Well, she
"How long?
wasn't-
How long are you going to be staying?" I was like, "You must look, or maybe you're out of my league. I don't know, but so
Yeah.
they think something's going on." Because
Oh, I thought you were saying that you bought a girlfriend for an hour.
no, no. Geez, I don't have that kind of money.
No.
My favorite comment is Sean. I've been in a gunfight, but not here. So that guy was in
Yeah.
is big time in the military. So
Yeah, I wasn't in the military. I was just I was living with this family who was very gun oriented. So I got into it too. I really like guns. I like shooting a lot.
Hell yeah,
Responsibly.
Me
you know,
too.
I take it
Jesse
very,
too.
I've got no charges. I might not pass a mental health check, but you know, I'm technically never done anything wrong or got caught for it at least. And we were just in the woods. Me and my ex-girlfriend's little brother, and he's in the military now too. And we would always go out. People would always trespass because the scrapyard I worked at was a sketchy place. It was like all the Warsaw, Missouri people just went to the scrapyard to steal stuff. You know what I mean?
Where were
So
you?
they would always trespass
Seneca Falls?
on the property that touched it. No, Waterloo.
Oh, Waterloo. Okay.
And I remember, like, you know, it's some dangerous people. You know, usually it's just like your average drug addict just trying to get a catalytic converter. So if they're trespassing, we were like, we're gonna kick them off the land. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like, we
geez.
never had intentions to shoot anyone.
Yeah.
But we were like, we heard someone. We were just out walking with our guns. We would always take them out, just out of no reason at all. We didn't expect to find people or anything. We just walked out. It was fun to shoot a 22 and a shotgun in the woods. That's what you do. And we were like, "Hey, who's that? Blah, 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 blah. You know, like, what's going on? Get off the land. This isn't your property." It was his dad's land, you know. And heard a fire. Someone just shot a gun into the air, and him and I looked at each other.
Don't want to do that.
Immediately took cover
Yeah.
and started firing in their direction.
Oh no.
They started firing in our direction. Turns out,
This is live, you know.
yeah, nobody died. You know the worst part? I worked at the scrapyard. That's where I worked. That's why I knew sketchy people would go through there and steal. There's cameras, there's trail cams and stuff, and you'd see footprints and stuff. And just didn't want anyone to steal our stuff. You know what I mean? Get out of here.
Yeah.
You know? And turns out it was the owner of the scrapyard thinking that we were trespassing. But he did a lot
No
of drugs,
shit.
and he's a little mentally unstable. I'm not going to name any names.
No,
but
no.
you know what I mean? That's not a good situation.
Could you imagine you smoked
that guy
dude?
shouldn't have a gun. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, you'd have been in prison if you shot him on accident.
No, he
Yeah.
fired first, and he was on our land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you're good.
Like we
Yeah.
would never just fire at someone or even send off a warning shot just for someone walking on the land. Not
That's
an,
wild.
you know,
That
I'm not
is
an idiot.
insane. That is insane though. Still, but you know
I
how
got into an
you know
accidental.
how courts work, right? They're never for sure.
Yeah,
That's
you
why I'm
never
always
know.
worried. Yeah.
They could afford better lawyers for sure.
That's freaking wild. Story,
crazy,
Frankie.
right?
Yeah.
Accidental gunfight, but like for real, we were good at it too. We practiced. We were like he would move forward and I would give him cover. And then I would move forward and I was like,
Oh,
all right, this
no.
has to end.
Yeah.
Something bad might happen. You know what I mean?
How'd you end up finding out?
I was like, I just screamed like, stop shooting. You know what I mean?
And he was
I
like,
just started-
Frankie?
I just started like
that you?
yelling it. Like after we literally shot at each other for what felt like an eternity, it was probably only like 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
But in that much adrenaline, it felt like an hour. You know what I mean? So I was just like, just fucking put down your guns. You know what I mean? What is happening?
It's not worth it.
Did you see them? Were you looking at did you actually see them or were you firing into nothing?
No, I could see like just like kind of a shadow. It was like dawn.
Jesus.
It was a little dark out and we were in the woods. There's a bunch of trees. It's thick. It's New York woods. And then I was so mad to find out that it was the guy I knew, and like I think he's legitimately crazy. You know what I mean? I think everyone knows that.
Sounds
But
sounds like maybe.
yeah, shouldn't have a gun for sure.
That's
But
insane.
like you always think it's gonna be like
How do you have a conversation after that? Hey, how you doing? Sorry,
Hey,
I almost
boss.
shot you.
Sorry I'm late.
we ended up really laughing about it a lot, but it's kind of like weird to even
insane.
laugh about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
insane.
dude, someone could
Yeah,
die.
that shouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? It should not have happened. It feels like I'm
we
lying.
need Frankie
like,
for more stories like this.
it feels
This is
like
the
a
kind of
fake
story
I'm just
story.
pissed that we waited this long into the show before we
I
had this
know.
conversation.
Most people about an hour longer and be like, I don't want to watch. It's like, no, the best stories at the
Yeah.
end.
I'm gonna have to insert an audio clip at the beginning
Yeah.
to say make sure you listen to the end.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's another memory that feels like I just watched it happen.
Yeah.
You feel
That's
that way about
wild.
memories? Like they didn't, like it
Some
wasn't
of
even
them.
you.
Only
Yeah.
the extreme ones, like where you do something out of character. Like those are the ones where you're like, that doesn't
Sound like me.
That doesn't seem like
I'm
something.
always out of character.
Doesn't seem like something I would do. Like that's the only time
I've
I ever
embarrassed
feel like that.
myself.
Like
quite
the
a few times.
early memories from when I was a kid that I'm just like, it just like it's almost like just pictures in my brain.
Mhm.
Like, oh, that was the thing that happened.
I used to think that I don't remember like any of my childhood except like key points.
Mhm.
And it's only up until I was like in my teens that I remember some stuff. A lot of it's gone. I thought that was from trauma. Guess what else I learned? That's normal.
It's normal.
You don't have to go through trauma to forget
Yeah.
your childhood. You're not
Nope.
blocking anything out. It's
It's
a
just-
it's common myth.
Yep.
There's another Frank fact.
Frankie fact. Well, what do you think,
I
Phil?
agree. I agree.
It's one, you want to head to the Laurentide and get a mango wheat. That's what I
Oh yeah,
want.
Super Bowl Sunday today.
Never fire warning shots. Don't do that.
No, don't
Yeah.
fire warning
Don't
shots.
fire warning shots.
Sean, we're gonna
Uh,
need some
If you-
military
if you're-
training.
If you're firing a gun, it's got to be first off justified, and second, you are firing that for a purpose.
You never know.
You don't fire a warning shot because they're going to fire back, and then you're going to die.
You know
If you
when
point a gun in anyone's direction, it's only because you're going to shoot them.
when guns malfunction.
Happens all the time. My
But-
phone is blowing up, dude. It's really annoying.
We'll wrap up. But they malfunction usually when you're cycling them.
Mm-hmm.
So like, don't waste your first shot because you don't know if you're going to have a second one. Your
Mhm.
first shot's your best chance.
Yeah,
And you might be firing a shot at somebody like Sean.
clean.
That you
No,
don't-
I would never fire a shot at Sean.
that you don't-
You hear that, Sean?
That you
I would
don't
never fire a shot at
that you don't want firing back. Somebody who's
Oh.
trained.
Don't get involved with Omega Force. They'll
Yeah.
put you down for spraining your toe.
Crazy.
All right.
So,
Well, I guess
Let's go watch the Super Bowl.
we
boys.
should. Yeah, who you got?
Rams for sure.
yeah, I'm with
Rams.
Frankie. It's probably
Rams.
Rams.
All right, well,
I
we
wanted
all
the
got the
Bills, but
Rams.
we got the Rams.
I
But-
think it's funny how much like the Bengals was started in spite of the Browns. I think that's funny.
I like
some of the stuff.
You know,
but-
if the Bengals. This is one of the Super Bowls. You don't care who wins. Like, yeah, it'd be cool if one team wins, but
Yeah.
like if the
But I-
Bengals win or the
Mhm.
Rams win, cool.
I like that.
I
a
think the
lot,
Rams.
yeah.
I think it'll be the
to-
Rams.
It's nice to see like oh, it's not the Yankees in it again. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't really watch hockey, but
It's not the Patriot.
That was the biggest
Frankie
smile
Wheeler. Frankie.
I've ever had in my life.
oh my god.
All right.
Well, this was really fun.
Thanks, Frankie.
We talked
Yeah.
about.
I love this.
getting me on here quite a few times.
We've talked about it. Here you are.
Glad that we've made it
Come
work
back
out.
next time you're in town.
I will. This was a great time.
July.
If there's
All
one
right.
thing I can do, it's ramble on for a while.
There we go.
Ramble on.
Oh
Mhm.
God, here we go.
Is that your closing song?
No.
Sing that. No, here's
Maybe
the closing song.
Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. Come fill your time. This pot's for all. From the Finger Lakes, join in the call. Learn something new about the Cuca Trail. Upstate New York, every episode I tell. Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. It's rare.